What is up? We are back with the Boomer Bust Show. Sunday morning, answering your questions, helping you get your lineup straight. If you got a trade question, you can drop that in there too. But, Rob, you're early today. And you're muted.
Yeah, he's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, these Canadians, man, I tell you.
It says he's muted on the thing. Oh, he said bye. He'll be back. See ya. He was just talking about how excited he was about Cam Akers being able to suit up today and eventually take over that lead role for Minnesota. So,
yeah, eventually. So is eventually by like the second quarter or third quarter?
I don't know. Like, how do you think they go through that process? Because he probably could speak on it better than I could, but doesn't Kevin O'Connell have like a relationship with Cam Akers?
Yeah, from their days in LA.
Okay, I couldn't remember where he came from, so maybe he knows something that obviously other people don't, or the Rams took for granted.
That's definitely possible.
Am I here?
I mean,
yep, you're here.
You're here.
Holy crap! So I heard all that stuff. Let me just close some windows here.
So I heard all that stuff. Oh man!
Hey, for my sake, I need him to take over. I don't care if it's next year at this point, but geesh.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
So Kevin O'Connell does have a relationship with Cam Akers. He comes from the team that hated him. So they both came from the same organization, right? And clearly the Rams and Cam Akers did not see eye to eye. So I can't imagine that Kevin O'Connell has this great relationship with Cam Akers. That said, Minnesota could use a little bit of help in their backfield. Alexander Mattison, despite Rick's love for him, hasn't been that great given this opportunity. I still think Alexander Madison's the go-to back for Minnesota until proven otherwise. Cam Akers is there because if Alexander Mattison fumbles one more time, we might never see him again.
So by the second quarter today,
could be like Madison got really lucky last week when they ruled for progress on that fumble because it was 100% a fumble, and it got overturned. And he probably would have been stapled to the bench, and we would have seen a lot more Ty Chandler, which I still want to see more so than anything out of Minnesota. But we're 0-3. You know, I think our season is as close to being over as it could be 3 weeks in. So I'd like this organization to build for the future for once instead of just trying to kick the can down the road.
I know what that feels like. We're in the same boat with that season over by week 4 thing.
I can't wait till we play each other. Those should be some really interesting games.
I mean, we already got one today with Denver, who gave up 70 last week.
Isn't there 2 0-3 matchups today? Isn't it?
The Bears? I think all the – is it 4 of the 5 teams?
There's only 4.
So it's all 4 of them. So it's going to be down to 2 after today.
Yeah.
No questions yet. I'm just going through, setting my lineups. Forgot about getting that done before the 9:30 game here. So taking care of that. But if you got questions, drop them in the chat. We will answer them. Now's a good time because later it might be busy and you might have to wait 30 minutes.
It will get busy, I think.
When you were on the stream yesterday, I asked some of the questions, and you guys are all unanimous. I'll see if Sully has the same answer. This is a different one than I mentioned earlier, Rick, but it was sit 1 out of the 4, and it was Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, Zay Flowers, and Javonte Williams. Who would you sit out of those 4, Sully?
I'd sit Adam Thielen.
They all said Michael Thomas.
If Andy Dalton was still playing or was starting for Carolina, then my answer would be different. I would probably sit Javonte. Against Chicago, maybe not. That's a tough question, but I think with Bryce Young playing quarterback today, you need to downgrade Adam Thielen significantly versus what Andy Dalton showed us last week. And why the hell don't the Jets trade for Andy Dalton?
Mm-hmm. Or
anybody
else? Yeah.
Dalton would be so easy to get.
At this point, I was like, why don't they just get Cam Newton? It'd be better than Zach Wilson.
Why don't they just give Colin Kaepernick a shot? He hasn't played in 8 years, but he's probably still better than Zach Wilson.
That's all. That's probably more money related than anything because organization, it's still a business.
If Colin Kaepernick won't play for league minimum, Colin Kaepernick has a big problem.
Yeah. I bet he would. I mean, he wrote them a letter.
I think he would
that's
too.
True. that story's true, but anyways, their situation's terrible. And Bryce, I'm sorry not to told you so, but I told you so. Garrett Wilson was at risk with Zach Wilson at quarterback.
I knew last week was going to be bad because it was against New England, but I mean, he still put up over 10 points the first 2 games. I mean, I think he has a solid floor against most of his opponents. It's just New England. I mean, if they can hinder Tyreek Hill, they're going to hinder most starting wide receivers. Really, the only one that's given them a huge problem in the past is Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. Everybody else, it seems like they hinder pretty well. Those two, though, they can't find the recipe for it, seems like.
So let's answer Scott's question here, and then I've got one for you guys. Good morning, fellas. Should I start Prescott or Stafford at QB and at running back 2, Antonio Gibson or Ezekiel Elliott? I appreciate y'all. I'm going Prescott and Elliott.
I'm going Stafford and Elliott.
I'm going Dak and Elliott.
That Antonio Gibson stuff is crazy to me.
That hurts my heart, man.
But he fumbles. He's like Madison, right? He fumbles all the time.
Sucks. I had him catching 75 balls this year. It's not happening.
Dak plays New England today, just so you guys know. He's gonna struggle.
You pump your brakes on your defense over there, okay? Settle down.
Hey, we got the new Sauce Gardner and Christian Gonzalez. I'm telling you right now. Hey, look up the numbers.
Look at how good our defense played last week against Zach Wilson.
No, look against. What are the first 2 matchups? The Eagles and then the Dolphins. He held both of the, like, if you look at Christian Gonzalez's snaps against Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, he's averaging 3 catches for 36 yards against him against top tier wide receivers. Just saying.
It's too bad they move wide receivers around, huh?
I think you need more than 3 weeks of data there. He very well may be fantastic, but I need a little bit more than 3 weeks of data for your victory lap there.
I'm just okay. We'll just wait.
Settle down, kid.
I'm just giving you I'm giving you a.
I know it's early and there's a London game and you're all excited. Let's just settle down. Okay.
I have Thielen, Miles Sanders, and Jacoby Myers. Should I start Thielen and Sanders and fade Jacoby, or start Jacoby over Sanders? We got lots of QB issues here. Miles Sanders, it looks like he's going to play, but hasn't really been practicing.
So I could just throw a whole wrench into the spokes here. I would start Sanders and Myers. I'd sit Thielen. I know Aiden O'Connell's at quarterback, and I think that's actually a good thing for Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is legit and looks fantastic. Miles Sanders is dealing with a groin thing, but he's playing against the Vikings, and he's apparently good to go. So all Sanders needs is 2 or 3 runs, and he might be able to outscore Thielen. I just worry about Thielen with Bryce Young. If it was Andy Dalton, it would be Adam Thielen for me for sure.
I'm on board with Myers, but I think I might go Myers and Thielen.
I can't argue that.
I'm worried about that groin injury and just how much action is he going to get. Obviously, a good matchup. But I think all 3 of these guys are so close that I wouldn't argue against any combination of the 3. I wouldn't really argue if you said Thielen and Sanders.
I
agree.
Where you at, Bryce?
I'm doing Thielen and Sanders too. Or I'm sorry, Thielen and Jacoby too. Sorry. I'm fading Sanders. I thought he'd have a way better year this year, and it's been kind of disappointing in that offense.
Vikings are the get-right team for a running back, though.
And if they're not, yours team is.
I mean, look, it changed DeAndre Swift's entire career, right?
Chargers are shit, too. So.
Changed DeAndre Swift's entire career. He went from
getting the same treatment.
Gainwell's backup to getting only like 3 touches.
Hall of Fame. He'd be in the Hall of Fame by the end of the season, the way he's going.
Good morning, gentlemen. I was looking for some advice in my flex. Pick 1, Kamara. I can stop there, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on board? It's Kamara for me.
Kamara for me.
I think so, but I don't think it's a slam dunk as it. We don't know what the quarterback situation in New Orleans is today.
Derek Carr's starting.
So I don't know if that's the greatest thing in the world. I know Carr likes to hit his backs, but it is Kamara. But I just don't think Alvin Kamara all of a sudden is jumping back into top 12 RB land. That's all.
I do. He's probably top 8 option for this.
Yeah, all their other running backs have looked meh. And
receptions
Kamara can do it all. He's not coming off an injury, which is also like the main
That's
thing.
fair.
He's coming off a suspension, so he's going to come back full force, I think, too.
We just to give a heads up, we are going to have a ton of Achane questions today.
Yeah,
I would imagine him and Ford last night probably.
Rick, you go back to was there a tight end question in that one as well?
No, he was just saying that he's got Mark Andrews. He has Hawkinson starting, so you could start 2 tight ends. I'm starting Kamara.
Oh, okay. Yeah, still sticking with Kamara, but those. Gotcha.
Okay, PPR, Achane or Javonte today? Javonte. Did I say Devonte? I don't know what I said.
You said
Javonte.
You said Javonte.
Okay. Bryce, where are you going with that one?
I'm going Javonte Williams. This is the matchup where we can hopefully see him all 4 quarters. Obviously, with last week's game, they didn't really get the running backs involved after they were down 40 points, or whatever, real quick. So he was actually looking pretty decent too early on in his touches, and then it just got that game got out of hand. So hopefully, I'm going to go Javonte today, playing against the Bears' soft run defense.
Soft defense. You don't have to clarify.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
We're also down. We're also down 4 of our top 6 in the secondary, so we're bad everywhere. So just fire up the Broncos.
Yeah, it's Javonte for me here, and if the Broncos don't come out and smash this week, Sean Payton's a worse coach than he thinks Nathaniel Hackett is. So it's time to, like Rick said, start your Broncos and see what happens. But it's Javonte for me.
Same for me, Javonte. Fire up the Broncos. Broncos, let's ride.
Fantasy I really like all the fantasy relevant players in that game. I think for a
Sutton, Judy, Javonte.
I like
Russell,
everybody. Yep.
Do you like the Bears side too?
Well, I just, like I said, fantasy relevant players like the main.
There's no fantasy relevant players on the Bears.
Fields and DJ Moore are the ones I like. Kind of steering clear of that running back.
Roshan could have a.
Yeah.
Roshan
I'm steering clear of that until it becomes Roshan, and then
the running backs could definitely. But okay, so I got to ask my question here, so I get these lineups set.
Yeah.
So receiver, I've got Mike Evans versus Lattimore, Debo, who's questionable late. I don't have anybody but Gallup to replace him with. But I can play. It's a tight end premium. It's only half PPR for wide receivers. So my options are, instead of Debo and Mike Evans, I have Nico Collins. I have Darnell Mooney with now being, I don't know, whatever. Curtis Samuel, or I also have Evan Ingram at tight end that I can play and only play 2 wide receivers.
If you're going Ingram, you better hurry up.
Right. Well, I'm trying to I got to hurry up no matter what.
I would go. I'll just give you a quick answer. Then I'd still stick with Debo and Mike Evans.
I would go with Mike Evans and Nico Collins. Pittsburgh.
So there you go. We helped you out.
Pittsburgh's secondary been awful this year. Even though Tank Dell's like kind of the star, Nico Collins is still getting majority of the targets. He just
Nico. Yeah.
Stroud's going to throw 50 passes today too. So
yeah. I mean that defense is going to be all over him, so it's going to come out quick too. So
I just have a hard time sitting anybody for Debo, and I know that he's banged up, but he's going to play today. So I think he's fine. But the only other scenario is you do go with Ingram and hoping he catches those passes. But I think it's Debo for me.
I just hate having dudes against the Falcons because like the Falcons run the clock. There's a lot less game played in those games.
Taylor says, I asked a question last night. London, Zay, Hollywood, Dell. I just can't do London. It's too hard. Y'all still agree? Oh, yeah. We all said London last night. Zay's out, right?
No. Which Zay? Jones is out. Flowers is in.
Oh, is Zay Jones? Is it? If it's Flowers.
That's
so. So are we picking one here?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Pick one.
I think I might. If it's Zay Flowers, it's Flowers. If it's Jones, it's Dell for me.
I'm Drake London. I think that's what I said last night.
I just can't do it.
I don't want London. Even though he's the best player out of this group right now, I'll also go Zay Flowers, and if it's not, I will go Tank Down.
How do we get Arthur Smith fired? We have some pretty good pull around here. Like, we're pretty smart guys.
He needs to start losing, and then he'll get fired.
Okay, I'll make some calls after the stream. This is enough of this shit.
He's ruining such prominent fantasy players. It's poor shit.
Oh my god! Why do you draft guys in the first 5 frickin' picks of an NFL draft and not use them? I don't get it.
Leon standard, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Puka, Nico, Judy, Pierce. Leon, did you tell us? Do you just need 1?
He needs a wide receiver and a flex. Is the way I see it.
1 receiver, 1 flex.
It's Puka and Judy for me.
Puka, Judy.
Standard, I will. Oh man, I'll go Puka.
I don't care what format it is.
If it's being standard, I like the Broncos Bears game, so I'll definitely go Judy, and then I'll go Puka as well.
Who is the wide receiver 1 for Houston Texans? Dell or Collins? Right now it's Collins, but
I mean, Tank Dell wasn't even on the field for 70% of the snaps last week.
It's Nico.
That tells you he's not the number 1. I mean, number 1's right 90% of the time.
I don't think that's up for debate.
I think really what we've got in Houston is a bunch of number 2s, right?
That's fair.
Collins, Dell,
good ones.
Robert Woods.
He's still hanging in.
In New England, we got a bunch of number 3s. So
yeah, you guys.
Kendrick Bourne's a solid number 2, I guess, but
everything comes back to New England. Hey,
I miss Jacoby.
It always does.
Well, it could be worse, is all.
Look at where we are at. T. Higgins or Tutu.
What a world. It's still T. Higgins for me, but I'm not going to fight anybody who says Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, it's probably T. Higgins this week. He usually doesn't have back-to-back god-awful weeks.
He's the up-and-down guy this year so far. And I know we're only 3 weeks in, but he is the up-and-down guy.
He's been kind of that way his career, really. Even last year, he kind of had some up and down, a decent amount of up and down.
His drops last week, though, I've never seen before. Like, those were like he looked like Kadarius Toney for a couple of minutes.
It looked like he didn't want to be out there.
Right.
Just like, I don't know. It was weird.
Like Chase Claypool body language with Kadarius Toney's hands.
Jeez, that's terrible.
Right?
I'm having nightmares, flashbacks.
It's all good. Let it go.
You said thanks, fellas.
Right back at you.
Chris Genova says half PPR, Kamara, Dell, or Flowers.
Sully,
who are you going with?
I guess I'm going with Kamara, but I like all 3 of them, to be honest. Bryce, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's Kamara for me pretty easily, but I also am a big fan of all 3.
Hey, if you guys need any players in Superflex, let me know. I want to get rid of more.
Hey, bud. That's my job. I'm getting rid of everybody. I got 3 first rounds, so I'm cool.
I don't want to say this, but I need to run my team by myself. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, so just kidding. Michael Clark says, well, he ain't watching. You're good.
I love my partner. Like, I love my co-owner like to death, but it's time. I
don't know why you don't lean on his luck because he's got it in every other league. Atwell, Kirk, or Miles Sanders in PPR. Bryce.
This is Christian Kirk for me. I kind of figured this would happen after week 1. So get him in there. I know you got like 4 minutes left. So get Christian Kirk in your lineup. Ever since week 1, he's been way more involved in that offense.
Yeah, Zay Jones is out and Jamal Agnew is out now as well. So I think it's Ridley and Kirk by all accounts. So I'm going to go with Christian Kirk here.
I am on board with that. Bryce, hit the next question, would you? I'm trying to get these lineups set before live.
All right, I'll scroll to the bottom to make sure. Start 2, Puka, Swift, Amari Cooper, James Cook. Woohoo, PPR. Sully.
Super chat just came in, Bryce, just so you know. Starting 2, Puka, Swift, Cooper, Cook. I am going to start Puka and Swift.
Man, I've got it bad. This is terrible.
I think you could. Okay, who do the Browns play today?
I don't know.
Ravens.
Baltimore, I
Ravens.
believe. Yeah.
Yes. And the Rams, they play.
Colts.
It's going to be Swift and Puka for me as well.
Okay.
That's tough. Yeah, Swift and Puka.
Super chat's time sensitive as well. We got to go. We got to get there for Taylor.
Okay. Burrow or Ritter, 4 points for TDs. I apologize for stupid questions.
No stupid questions,
Taylor,
just stupid answers.
You've been asking me stupid questions for about 2 decades now.
Burrow easily, even if he has to throw left-handed.
Burrow for me in this one.
Yeah. It's Burrow versus Ritter rest of the season. Unless Burrow's out, it's Burrow.
James Winston getting the start today, just so you guys know.
Another one from Taylor.
Oh.
London or Hollywood, PPR? London for me.
I'll go London on this one.
I will too. Hollywood is sort of game time this decision, but I'm still sticking with London.
Arthur, thanks for the super chat.
Super chats are
flying. Rain.
Flex 1.5 PPR. We got Tank Dell, Achane, D Pierce. Need upside, he says. I mean, after what we saw last week, I think if upside is your need, then Achane has the most upside out of the group, and you go with Achane. I mean, it's probably not going to be 51 points again, but
see, that's the problem, right? Like the kid just had the best game he'll ever have in his entire career. And I'm comfortable saying that because I don't think he's ever going to score 51 points again. That said, he could easily go for 30. He could easily bust a couple and score. But I'm going to go with Tank Dell here because I think Dell gives you a bit of a floor and a ceiling combination. And I get it. You're looking for upside. But Achane, and I'm very upset that he's changed his name, by the way, because it took me half of the offseason to figure out how to say it in the first place. But it's Tank Dell for me. Bryce.
It is upside. It's going to be Achane for me as well. You got to go with them pretty much any Miami Dolphin when it comes to upside.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Jalen Waddle was not playing last week, and he is this week, and that's a big part of that.
I think they're going to move forward.
80, 90?
No, they could, but they're not going to. But I'm just saying. It's the way the targets shaped out, right? Like a lot of that pass work to both Achane, Chan, and Mostert was Waddle targets, right? So we'll see how it plays out.
Bryce, you remember where we were? I don't know if my lineups are good or not, but they're in. We didn't do the one above that.
Yeah, we did. We did. You didn't answer it, I guess. We answered this.
Yeah, we did. You can answer it now, though.
For me, it's Swift. Man, that's tough. I think they're all really close. I think you could go both running backs and just take the touches, or I probably go Amari Cooper over Puka. Swift and the Cooper, probably.
I think we were both Swift and Puka, weren't we?
Yeah.
Or were you Cooper?
No, I was Puka, but it was close for me as well.
Yeah, they are close. Cook would be fourth here for me.
Isn't it funny though that Swift goes over to the Eagles and gets the touches that we wanted him to see for the Lions, but still when they get down to the 1 yard line, he's still not the guy they give the ball to.
To be fair, though, he also looks better than he ever did running the ball for Detroit as well.
Well, he had a game against Minnesota where we didn't touch him, so that'll help.
He's not getting touched anywhere at any point.
I mean he came back and rushed for another 130 yards.
I know. And did you see the holes that line gives him, though? Holy cow.
Yeah, they're good. Should I start Nico or Mike Evans? I was literally just asked this question for myself.
Mike Evans for me.
It was Mike Evans. Yeah. Mike Evans. I do hate the matchup because it seems like Lattimore does have his number, but Baker Mayfield just really has locked on to Mike Evans this year more than Brady. Brady was better at spreading it out, where Mike Evans is the go-to guy for Baker.
Yeah, I started Evans, but I'm worried there too. And Baker came back to reality last week because he didn't get to play the Bears.
Or the Vikings.
Choose two. Kamara, Connor, Mostert, half PPR.
Sit Connor.
It's Connor and Mostert for me.
No, it's Kamara and Mostert for me.
It's Kamara and Mostert for me as well.
Really? I don't know how you guys sit Connor. Dude just finds the end zone. Toddy. Guys, Zay Jones and Agnew both out, so probably going Christian Kirk over Myers now. Yeah, that's the one we answered earlier.
Over a standard scoring, yeah.
Over Myers, over Jacoby.
I just have. I mean, what offense?
Yeah,
think has a
probably.
chance to score. If this is PPR, I think I would go Myers though.
Yeah, I agree.
We all answered Christian Kirk on the first time when he asked it.
We did, hey? Okay. We got a super chat just came in too.
I thought it was a start two, and we went Kirk and Myers. Maybe I did. I don't know.
I don't know if that's the same Zay Jones, Zay Flowers one that we were confused by, but yeah.
Bryce, you want to hit that super chat?
Yes, gotcha. Sorry. Okay, so you have to click it at the bottom. Okay, I didn't know if I could click it at that top. There we go.
Okay, Nick, that was real hard for Bryce to get, so sorry. For the wait. Who's the better running back start this week in full PPR? Is it Rashad White or is it Jerome Ford? Sully, which one?
It's Ford for me.
I'm looking at
Rashad White here. Rashad White looks horrible. And that O-line in Tampa is a mess, too.
I'm going Jerome Ford as well. I mean, he has yet to disappoint as well. Like, he gets in the end zone. He runs hard. Easy. One of the best, second best offensive line for run blocking in the NFL. Yeah, give me Jerome Ford.
Who's Tampa Bay playing?
Tampa Bay plays New Orleans.
New Orleans. So that's a tough matchup for the run game.
Well, so is Ford's. I mean, Ravens, right?
The Ravens, yeah, but then, like I said, like the same thing I said last week, it was the worst matchup last week. But when you have that offensive line, it can help nullify some of it. But he did get that.
No, it wasn't the offensive line last week. The dude had 23 rush yards on 18 carries. Like the Titans.
They only gave him the ball. They only gave him the ball 10 times in the run game. They were
10 for 23 yards, right?
It just doesn't look good.
10 for 18.
It just doesn't look good. They got to give Tucker more touches because I think he could be a better back.
No, we're talking about Jerome Ford.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ford didn't look that great either.
That Titans play was, I mean, it's right. If I told you last week when I said not to start Ford that he was going to have 23 rush yards on 10 attempts, there's no way you would have started him. He got into the end zone twice, one through the air, one on the ground, even though the ineffectiveness. The process, right. I believe, is right. It's just the result. He falls into the end zone twice and saves his day. But
you're right.
But
oh my gosh, the pregame is cartoons for this Toy Story thing.
It is, dude. That's awesome.
Yes.
I'm probably going forward here as well. Okay, now I lost.
I don't understand how you do that in real time. How do you animate a football game in real time?
Dude, we were talking about it last night.
People make way more money than us and spend way more time in front of a computer.
By the way, I forgot. I think it was Nick was the name on that. Nick, thank you very, very much.
Very much, Nick.
For the super chat. Arthur, Taylor, thank all you guys for the super chats today so far. We really appreciate it. But right now, Adrian needs to know which two of these are we going to start? 2-2, Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Tank Dell. Excuse me.
I think my top would be Jeudy. He jumps out the most at me. Just in
Broncos country, let's ride.
I just think he's
two Broncos.
Another week healthy and in a pretty good opportunity with an offense that really better get their shit together.
We are on our third string nickel cornerback.
Nice. It's between Tutu and Tank for the last one for me. I don't want to start both Broncos here. I'll go with Jeudy and Dell.
I will go with both Broncos, Javonte Williams and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, stack that up. Put them in your DFS lineups too. Dell or Godwin in the flex. Now I feel like this is a Godwin week, but are we
We
playing
had a
him or are we
Godwin
playing
week
Dell?
yet?
No, but with Lattimore on Evans, I think this is a week to.
Yeah,
That game could be
Godwin
like
to pop.
super low scoring.
I'm gonna go with Dell.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dell too. I for some reason think this Pittsburgh Houston game could be a relatively high scoring game today.
I'm gonna go with Godwin on this one.
You got to put this Disney Plus game on. It's so funny. They're running out on the field as little cartoons, like little tiny toys.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, Lex plant some trees, says Elijah Moore, Palmer, Nico, Brees, Roshan. He needs 2 in a PPR league.
I'll go first. I'm going Palmer and Nico Collins for me.
Same.
Elijah Moore close behind.
I think
Brees
Roshan's close, but I can't do it yet.
I'm not touching Bryce Hall until we see that he gets. I mean, I don't even know his snap percentage is 50% yet, so I want no part of that yet.
They've had terrible. I mean, they've also played some terrible defenses for.
I imagine their coach is on his last life too. There, I mean, just year after year of complete and utter disappointment.
Who's that? Saleh?
Salah. Yeah, Salah.
I think Saleh's fine. I think we're really starting to see that Nathaniel Hackett without Aaron Rodgers is just as shitty in New York as he was in Denver. That guy's
I don't
trash.
know. This one's not as fair. This one's not fair to put on them yet. You got Zach Wilson at quarterback. There's not a whole lot you can do. I'm sorry.
I get it. You should be able to run the football then.
Bryce Hall has yet to touch 50% snap percentage yet, so I'm definitely not.
Bryce Hall also has about 80% of his yardage this year on one carry. So I'm nowhere near Bryce Hall yet.
You are right. Yeah, like 50% on one carry for sure. Because he's got about 100. No, you're probably like closer to 60% on that one carry. Yep.
83-yard run.
All in one show says start 3. Diggs,
Oh
Olave,
my goodness.
Waddle, Puka. The first 3.
Yeah. Diggs, Olave, Waddle for me as well.
I'm sitting Waddle and starting Puka over him. Which is bonkers, but
Wilson or Jackson? Wilson looks to have the better matchup this week. Yeah, the Cleveland's. I don't care what anybody says. Cleveland's defense is disgusting. They have allowed the fewest first downs on the season, and they have given up less than half of the number 2 team. Their defense is legit.
It's Lamar for me.
But it's still Lamar.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've been known for their pass rush, and the best thing to slow down a pass rush is a mobile quarterback. So,
I mean, you'd think.
Well, I mean, your team doesn't count. That's
Luke gets fires up
another dumpster fire.
Ravens have a wee bit better of an offensive line than Chicago too. So, fairness to Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, because we've got one guy playing his original position from what was supposed to be the start of the season. So that's great on the offensive line.
Mess.
Dude, we are terrible.
This one's partially too late. The game started.
Start 3: Pittman, Higgins, Evans, Ayuk, Judy, Atwell. I would have went. Pittman's in there for sure.
Yeah.
Ayuk's in there for sure.
Yep.
So then I could have went Ridley or Judy here.
Pittman's, Higgins, Evans
Or
for me. I
Higgins.
think Higgins gets somewhat right today.
Pittman, Ayuk, and then any of those other 3, Judy, Higgins, or Ridley, I would have been happy with, depending on what you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably would have went Ridley, Pittman, and Ayuk.
That's probably what I would have done as well.
I don't argue that, but I think we're all aligned on the first 2.
Okay, so this was the super chat that he asked. after he asked this. Mr. Scampers. Jameis will
coolest
start for
cat in town.
Raiders. That's weird because I thought they came out last night and said that Derek Carr was starting. And good morning.
Scheffner reported it, but it's not for the Raiders. It's for the Saints.
What?
Did it not say Jameis for the Raiders in the last comment?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what? I got
no. But Aiden O'Connell's starting for the Raiders. That's fun.
So he just mixed up.
Firing him up in DFS.
This could be it for Jimmy.
4,000. And he's getting talked about good by Devontae Adams. Probably just because he wants a ton of targets.
Because Devontae Adams hates everybody in that organization other than Aiden O'Connell.
You see in the Chandler Jones stuff?
Yeah, what a mess.
What is going on? I don't know if he lost his mind or what's going on. He just got arrested yesterday.
Yeah, he got cut too.
Dylan needs some big upside, guys. Full PPR, start 1. Dell, Hopkins, Hollywood, MT. My opponent had Monty. Leaning Dell, maybe Michael Thomas because he gets red zone looks. Hopkins with Burks out. Thoughts?
Dell's the ceiling play. You have 2 catches for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns the way he goes. But the floor safe play is probably Hopkins, but the ceiling is Dell for me.
With that matchup today, like I said, I think that game could be one of the higher scoring games of today. I'm also going to go with Tank Dell. I just don't see that Buccaneers Saints game being very high scoring.
I agree.
I'm going Hopkins. Morning, gents. Saquon is out. My running back 2. Should I start Cook or Moss? Has it been announced that he's out?
Doubtful.
So, yeah, pretty much.
Should I start Cook or Moss? Also, who should I flex? Myers, Judy, Lockett, or flex Moss or Cook? Guys, with the Cooks, make sure you put in which Cook you're talking about. Big difference right now.
Only one startable.
James Cook. Yeah, I imagine this got to be between James Cook or Zach Moss. The other way would be an easy decision.
I'd start Jared Cook over Dalvin Cook right now.
The Colts play the who they play again? The Rams. Jesus.
Man, was I wrong about Zach Moss? Holy cow. I'm starting Moss over Cook. I'm flexing Judy over everybody. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm answering the question right.
I'm Moss and Lockett.
You are, hey? Okay.
I'm Moss and Cook, but if you need ceiling, I would go Judy at the flex.
You're Moss and Cook?
Yeah. I'll go with James Cook has been a nice floor play this year, so
that could be a million. Could be a million points in that game too.
Yeah, back over 100. Yeah, 100-point games he's involved in the past game. The only downfall of him is if they get within the 5, it is Lat Murray, but he's involved in the past game more than I thought he would be, which is nice. So,
what up, fellas? Pacheco or Metcalf? Half PPR. Metcalf.
Yes, DK Metcalf.
Pacheco's so touchdown dependent.
Ayuk, Derek, PPR, Achane, or Ayuk?
Ayuk for me as well.
Kakad. Pacheco or Pierce?
Pacheco
for me.
Pacheco.
What the hell happened to Damian Pierce?
My opponents in SFB just added Jonnu. How scared should I be? Well, more scared.
I'd be more scared if my
more scared than if he added Pitts.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and now I'm going to go throw up.
Right? How do they simultaneously resurrect Jonnu Smith's career while just Pitts just gets less valuable? What the?
How does Kyle Pitts not kick Arthur Smith's door in and say, WTF, dude? Like, what is happening here?
I don't know.
Is it possible Kyle Pitts isn't good and we all think he is?
Now, did you see the video of him getting wide open like 4 or 5 times last game? Like had 4 or 5 like yards of separation, and he's just like the ball didn't get thrown to him. He just puts his hands down. I don't think it's a skill thing. I think Arthur Smith took over after Kyle Pitts got drafted, so maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to utilize him because it wasn't part of his regime bringing him in, which makes sense why Drake London's way more involved in the pass game than we see Kyle Pitts. But Kyle Pitts did have 9 targets last week, so it's not.
Desmond Ridder sucks, right?
Yeah,
like Desmond Ridder is almost Zach Wilson level.
Oh no, nobody's on Zach Wilson.
I don't think that. Yeah,
I don't think anybody's that low.
He's definitely a bottom 5 quarterback in the league, though. I mean, the Falcons are address quarterback.
I guess there's Zach and Josh Rosen are the same guy, right?
Yeah, and Josh Rosen got like 8 starts in his career.
They crushed him though, just like they're crushing Wilson.
Zach Wilson here. The next worst quarterback is like up here, and that's probably what Joshua Dobbs, and he literally just went and
he looks pretty good.
Did you see the video of him going to the team shop and went to go buy his family jerseys and they didn't have them?
Yep. And then did you see how they fixed it?
No, I didn't see they fixed it.
Yeah, they gave him a jersey and he's all happy on camp. They did a video of him with his actual Just Dobbs. Can you imagine? You're an NFL starting quarterback. You go to buy your jersey. I'm sorry, we don't sell that here. Would you like a Kyler Murray jersey?
So Brian needs to know, would you guys trade Achane and Judy for Jacobs, full PPR?
Nope.
No, me neither.
No. Mm-mm. That redraft Jacobs might not have a ton of value this year.
He looks terrible.
I mean, 9 carries for -2 yards will definitely have you not looking good in the box score.
I need to do a little research on this, but I have a theory that if a running back changes his number, he gets dramatically worse.
Well, have fun with that research.
It's what I do, brother.
Adam, I don't know how you get that one. Is there a page that like keeps track of all number changes?
Well, Dalvin Cook changed his number and then he changed it again, and he's like,
well, yeah, but you're gonna need more data than Josh Jacobs and Dalvin Cook, is what I'm saying.
Well, there's a little thing called the internet. I could probably figure it out for a few of them. I'll be okay.
Well, that's what I literally asked, is if there was a website that tracked.
You have to have knowledge of guys that have changed their numbers too, right? I'm not talking like all time. I'm talking like the last couple of years. I'll get back to you.
Okay, cool. Kyron Williams, Zach Moss, or Mike Evans. He needs 2. I'm going with the 2 running backs.
I will also go with the 2 running backs.
Yeah, that matchup is a little scary today, and usually Lattimore doesn't bother me, but Mike Evans might be the only guy he can cover because he's in Mike Evans' head. So I will go with the 2 running backs as well. But I think the Kyron Williams polish is coming off fast.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Wild card loft. Stash Marvin Mims or Quentin Johnston? I mean,
both.
For redraft, I'm stashing Quentin Johnston over Marvin Mims.
Yeah, Brad and I talked about this on the waiver show last Sunday. I think Quentin Johnston is probably the one to have out of him and Palmer long term, but I'd want Palmer now. But that said, I think I'm still going with Marvin Mims. They just got to get him the ball more. Every time they get him the ball, he does something. So I'll go with Mims over Johnston.
Yeah, this is so very easily Marvin Mims for me.
You hate Quentin Johnston, though.
Dude, he's not that good.
Well, not yet. He's only played 3 games. Justin Jefferson wasn't very good in his first 4 games either, but not saying they're the same thing. But
didn't think
I'm just
Quentin
saying.
Johnston was good coming out.
I know.
He could even consistently play as the number 1 at TCU. Couldn't consistently get open. Marvin Mims is doing on 2 catches what a lot of guys hope to do on 12, right? Like, he's getting yards, touchdowns. I'll take Marvin Mims, but I agree if this is If you're talking about a dynasty stash, then both of these guys need to be stashed. There's somebody else on your roster that should be able to be dropped other than them.
Totally agree.
So, Mr. Scamper says, I'm stupid. It's early. I meant the Saints.
It's early, bro.
Stupid. You are a smart cat, Mr.
He's
Scampers.
Coolest cat I know.
Adam wants to know Thomas, Collins, or Hopkins in PPR.
I'm assuming it's Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what other
True.
Thomas would it be. Disney.
I will go. I'm going to go Michael Thomas.
Agree.
I have a good feeling about him this week.
I think Winston.
You need to make up your mind.
Why?
Who?
Well, because earlier when we had Thomas in a question, your argument to not start him when you didn't pick him was that you thought it was going to be a low-scoring game.
I mean, it still might be, but I'm more interested in him in a PPR format of getting points. I don't think he's going to drop 2 or 3 touchdowns, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has a nice little 7 for 90. I think that's a really good week for Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I think he gets targeted like crazy. So
yeah,
I mean that's what I'm going with too.
Yeah.
Just needed to
when someone's going upside or ceiling play and comparing them against guys like in games like the Broncos and Bears, I'd rather have those wide receivers because the points could be crazy in that game. Could be.
What happens when two defenses do not stop anybody and face each other? It ends up a 13-10 game.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to end up happening. But
right?
Are we going Matt Breida or Godwin in the flex? Half PPR.
Come on,
Godwin.
Yep,
it's Godwin for me. 2 Godwin for me too. Dude, this broadcast, I just turned this broadcast on finally. I'm excited to see this.
I got the regular one over here on my phone to the right, and then I got the Toy Story one.
I'm too busy working.
Way
I don't know
behind.
about you guys, so.
Oh, look at this guy. I think I work plenty. Need 2 running backs.
You think my Canadian internet can support a stream of a game and this thing at the same time? You're nuts.
Yeah, true.
That hamster's working hard as it is.
They run the internet cables through moose antlers.
Right?
I've been telling you to get extra hamsters, and you just won't listen.
I have the best hamster money. I have the best Canadian internet hamster money can buy, and it's still.
But
T-Law just ran like a 40-yard freaking run.
But do you have 2 hamsters? Is my question.
I do not, Rick. I only have 1.
2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex.
In fairness, it's supposed to be a really good hamster.
Dude, I love how they put the fart smoke behind him on the cartoon when he's running.
Yeah.
Where's that broadcast on Disney?
Disney Plus.
They
do. They got a little. I don't think it's supposed to be fart smoke though.
Yeah, I know. I was joking.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That'd be even better though.
It looks like fart. It looks like fart smoke.
2 running back, 2 flex.
We're losing all of our viewers. We need to answer questions.
2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Pollard, Swift, Kamara, Najee, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Godwin, or Hopkins. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Bryce, you're up.
Pollard easily, Swift easily, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers. No, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm putting Kamara at the flex.
Pollard, Swift, Kamara, Amari, Godwin for me.
My running backs are Pollard and Swift. My receivers are Amari and Flowers, and I am flexing Kamara. I think that's the same as Bryce.
And that was
I chose Hopkins over Flowers because of the matchup. I don't like the matchup against the
fair. I'll take the volume. That's what I think is going to be there. Half PPR, he says, for that last one. So that definitely that kind of hurts my answer. Yeah. So I will defer back to Hopkins over Flowers. My apologies.
All right.
How's cartoon Kyle Pitts? Is he any better than real Kyle Pitts?
Jags. Since I turned it on, Jags have the ball. I haven't seen Atlanta.
Okay. I think the Falcons went 3 and out. They did. The Falcons went 3 and out.
Dude,
they're backed up.
It's pretty cool though. I mean, they've got Andy's room all set up with NFL stuff on the walls and Jaguars box in the left corner.
I love how the NFL just makes shit tons of money off everything they do. They're so smart.
Yeah, their marketing squad is pretty good.
Yeah, partnering with Disney was huge for both the NFL and Disney, I'm sure.
And they did the Nickelodeon stuff previous years too, right? With the slime and stuff, and that's huge. Like popular, kids love that crap. So
that's
brilliant.
Don't think I can trust Hopkins. Offense is dog poop.
I can't fight that argument. Like, is Ryan Tannehill's done? Hey, like if they had a viable backup.
Yeah, the problem is their offensive line is horrid. Like it's the worst pass blocking offensive. It might be the worst pass blocking offensive line in the league. I mean, Ryan Tannehill has negative time back there. I don't think it's his fault. With that being said, your backup quarterback is Malik Willis, who's mobile. So I guess your best way to try and get away from a imminent pass rush every other play would be to get a more mobile quarterback out there. So I don't know why they don't just pack it up, look to rebuild at this point, see what they got on their depth chart at quarterback and draft quarterback if they all suck. So I don't know.
They draft quarterback for the third straight year though. Like
but they don't have
to find out.
Yeah.
Don't you have to find out if you have anything? Well, Levis is an early second. You got to find out what's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in the camp that I think you can tell if they're that bad in practice. What we were hearing in the preseason about Levis was absolutely atrocious. It wasn't even like, hey, he's having hiccups here and there. It was like he's having problems just getting the ball on the snap. Like, not good.
I mean, it's not good. Go ahead. Sorry. It's not good what we saw from Malik Willis last year, and then they drafted in the second round, and he can't surpass him on the depth chart. I mean, So
you just said exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Malik Willis was hot garbage when we saw him play last year. They wouldn't let him throw the ball, and he's still ahead of Will Levis, who has a cannon for an arm apparently and nothing between his ears. So that's a tough situation.
Mayonnaise.
And Derrick Henry looks like he's cooked too, which inevitably was going to happen.
Yeah, at this point, you need to. I don't know why they don't just try and sell their older assets and start that rebuild hard.
I think
so who are we starting? Jerome Ford, Devin Achane, Derrick Henry. Which one are we starting?
Still Henry for me, but not very comfortably.
Yeah, it's still Henry. It's still Henry for me. I'm more confident that he gets more touches than these other guys.
I'd be right back since we're at a bit of a lull. Be right back.
Yeah, I knew we'd have less viewers with a game on today. That's how it always is for those early London games.
We've never broadcast during them though.
True, but even we've started during them. We started during them before. Like we haven't broadcast before it, but I mean they're not over till about. It's not over till about noon, 12:15, 12:30 usually.
Should I start Jerome Ford, Devon Achane, or Derrick Henry? I can't decide here. I don't believe we have to live off of Henry's name. He's been out snapped by Tyjae Spears 2 out of 3 weeks. So if we're talking about being confident about him getting the touches, I don't think I am. I'm going Ford. Going forward, I think the baby cries doesn't like what's coming up in the game. I don't think
she is not in a good mood today. Not this morning.
I'm liking what happens in the game.
Touchdown, Calvin Ridley.
I mean, you weren't supposed to ruin it for people if they're watching and they're behind like I am. I haven't seen it yet. I got the notification.
Oh yeah. I got the regular one. Oh wait, it would what? Okay, it says Christian Kirk on the TV, but that's definitely not Christian Kirk, I don't think. Was it? No, I can't say. No.
There's another report that just came out that now Derek Carr is starting. So I don't think New Orleans knows what they're doing at quarterback today.
Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say I thought they
no.
said last night that he was starting, but
Scheffner said that he was going to start, and then they said no, and now they said yes. So I don't know.
Whew.
There we go. Calvin Ridley getting back on the board. I like it.
They got Woody
That's
doing
good.
a dance.
That's good. Good for him. Throw the ball, Atlanta. Idiots.
We were talking last night, like how crazy it is that, like, I remember when the Nintendo 64 came out. That'd be before your time there, Bryce. And we were literally like, "Oh my god, how are the graphics to games and stuff going to get better?" Like, it felt like a peak, right? And now they're literally changing a live NFL game into graphics that are better than that.
I don't even know how you do that.
Time.
First of all,
like it's AI.
I went to I went to a VR like gaming thing yesterday with like my family for my brother's birthday, and it was actually really fun. You're just in a room with all these sensors on you, and we did a zombie like takeover thing. It was pretty cool. And it's like, holy crap. And you could tell like in the VR world, it's still pretty primitive in the sense of the graphics associated with it. So it's like if they can get like the graphics that consoles and PCs have into the VRs, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna end up being like Ready Player. If you haven't seen the movie Ready Player One, awesome movie. Rick, you really like that movie if you haven't seen it. But
I love that movie. I hear that if you didn't read the books, then the movie's awesome. If you read the book, then you're gonna hate the movie.
See, I didn't read the book, so the movie was sweet.
I don't read books either.
I was like, dude, if gaming can get to this, people are gonna never leave their house.
Like AI, like my wife was reading me an article yesterday that there's advances in AI now where you go into your pantry and you take a picture of your pantry and AI will tell you what to make for dinner based on what's in your pantry. That's bonkers for me. Like,
that's pretty cool.
You talk about the N64, dude. I go back even way further than that with home consoles, and even the first, the Sega Genesis way back when in the 80s and the Nintendo console. It was like, holy cow, this is like the video game, like in the arcade, right? It was unreal. But you're right. Now it's just mind numbing what's going on.
Yeah, I brought up N64 because I remember back to original Nintendo 2, but N64 was the first one that was like 3D. In a 3D world
with Super Mario World and all that other jazz. Yeah, That was pretty cool.
So that's what I was referring to with this 3D animation in real time. It's just nuts that they do that.
That's
Brock needs to know. Start 2, full PPR. Khalil Herbert, DJ Moore, Gabe Davis, Tutu Atwell. He's already got Puka starting. I'm going DJ Moore. Probably Gabe Davis.
I will go DJ Moore and Tutu Atwell.
So Tutu's the easy one for me. It's between Davis and Moore for me. Claypool being an inactive, and Mooney, I think, not quite back to what he was or ever will be again. I think it's DJ Moore, but it's close between Davis and Moore for me. Starting to worry about DJ Moore and just that Chicago factor, and maybe DJ Moore isn't as good as we thought he was either, but Tutu and Moore will be my answer.
I'm not worried about Moore. He had 100 plus yards 2 weeks ago. Last week he found the end zone. He did have a big drop last week that changes his entire fantasy day.
That's fair.
So that I'm not worried about long term. I mean, the offense in a whole, yes, but not DJ Moore. He's not going to drop very many of those. Fav Rock, start Madison or Zay Flowers in PPR. Sully, where you go?
Really like Zay Flowers. It's not the greatest matchup in the world, obviously, but PPR, I think the volume will get him there over Alexander Madison, and I like Alexander Madison more than most. So I'll go Zay Flowers, though.
Dude, they used the claw from Toy Story to drop the ball. I didn't
drop
even
the ball.
That.
Yeah. It's so funny when they're in the huddle. Their like bodies are like.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I interrupted.
That's only going to get better though. I'm going Zay Flowers as well.
I mean, they're bringing the alien in now. Is he? Oh, he's the cameraman. That's cool. I'm I'm going Zay Flowers. You guys know where I'm going with this one. We don't need to harp on it. Brock says, thanks, fellas. Unfortunately, I'm a Bears fan, so it's hard for me to take my Bears goggles off when I look at these. Hey, you can't see the background, but that's what used to be like a down payment on a house of Justin Fields stuff that's now, maybe buy a dollhouse. Oh, man.
Hang in there. Still time.
You might be able to buy a tiny home.
Right?
You just need to
maybe
move your tiny home to a new city. That's all.
I don't know how that's going to help me.
It's going to help him. If he could get the hell out of Chicago, it would help him.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Please, Sean McVay.
That'd be nice.
That's what I said. I've been saying that to a bunch of people.
I would say that for any guy, any quarterback that I thought had talent that was struggling.
In all honesty,
would be a big issue.
Where would you trade him that it'd be worse? The CFL, maybe. Like that's it. Like there's 31 other teams that I think Justin Fields plays better for than Chicago.
Yeah, probably.
I would be a little concerned with Atlanta.
Maybe
they'd let him run at Atlanta at least.
Yeah, they probably would let him run a ton.
Yeah, but if we're talking are we talking fantasy or are we talking NFL good?
I guess I'm talking both, but probably I can see what you're saying Atlanta-wise, but I think Justin Fields is dramatically underrated as a passer. If you give him a little bit of frickin' time behind there and some weapons to work with, I think with Pitts and London, like if you get rid of Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder and put in a half-ass decent coaching staff that has an idea of scoring points and throwing the football and using their top draft picks, I think Fields would be great there.
I think you need somebody that can rebuild the confidence as well.
Yeah.
I think that's why I obviously prefer McVay. Obviously give him to Mike McDaniels. I know Tua's doing great, but how did neither the Bears nor Denver even interview this guy?
Well, you see what happens to when you don't interview him, what he does to you, right? Like you think he scores 70 points against most teams. I think there was a little bit of, hey, screw you there. Well, especially when he went for it on fourth down, up 40 points or something. Fourth and goal from the 3, goes for it. And he's up 40. There was a little bit of a screw you there, I think.
Yeah, he's got to be like my favorite coach.
Be a Bronco.
Right? Wasn't that where he started off as
as a ball boy?
He was a ball boy for the
right.
Broncos. Like that's all he ever wanted to do was play for the Broncos, and then they don't even interview him. Like here's 70 burger, buddy.
Exactly. The nice cold FU attached to it. Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Jonathan Tilley wants to know Garrett Wilson or DJ Moore in a standard league.
This is kind of easily DJ Moore for me this week.
I think it has to be, especially the standard component, right? In PPR, at least Wilson could get you 8 for 18. But now if he gets you 8 for 18, you get 2 points. And DJ Moore could have, like Rick said before, he put one in the end zone last week and he had 104 points or 104 yards in the other one. So I think Moore, it as bad as it is right now, it has to be DJ Moore here.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
That's gross, but it is what
Zach
it is.
Moss is. Oh, that's what I was looking at. We were talking about Fields.
Trevor Lawrence is looking solid today.
Good for him. He needs to bounce back.
I was going to say, he hasn't looked very. There's been a lot of good quarterbacks that haven't looked great so far.
It helps that Christian Kirk is wide open.
It also helps that Doug Peterson took play calling away from.
He did. It was officially taken away.
He took it away at halftime last week. It just wasn't made official. But yeah, he's calling plays today. That's my understanding. I guess the OC in Jacksonville, I learned this last week, is Zach Taylor, Bengals coach's brother. Didn't know that. Little fun, useless facts for you guys. Justice Hill is expected to play today after being questionable all week.
I'll be back. I'm going to use the restroom.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat breakfast in a few.
Okay, wait till he comes back because I'd just be standing here
Yeah.
staring at the screen like a dummy.
That's
like I
all
do
it is.
most,
I'm looking
like
up.
I do most of the time anyway. What are you looking up?
Well, I seen a stat, but I don't know exactly how it related to the rest of the league. But that Justin Fields' adjusted completion percentage was like over 70%. But I don't
surprise
know.
me. I don't know how you
I
find
don't
that
know
stuff.
how that. I don't know how that compares to the rest of the league, though. Like, is everybody else 85% and
I don't
70
think
still
so.
really
I wouldn't
bad?
think so. I wouldn't think so, but I also don't know. I just look at it like I'm an old dude, so I don't do much analytics, but I look at a guy who has time in the pocket and a guy who doesn't have time in the pocket. And most NFL quarterbacks have to make a decision and go through their progressions in like 3.5, 4 seconds. Guys like Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins have to do it in like a half a second. So like those two guys, especially, I think they're getting hit all the time. They've got their routes don't even have the time to develop. So they have to throw to spots versus receivers. I don't know. That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, people use he has, 4 seconds before he throws on average, but they're not factoring in the fact that he's running around before he throws.
And most quarterbacks have about 3.5, 4 seconds, and they get, you got to ask these guys to, they're Justin Fields probably drops back to pass and he's looking at DJ Moore because he should be. But if Moore's not there, he doesn't have time to get to second and third guy in his progressions. He just has to either throw it in the dirt or fire it off and hope for the best. Like, he's in a bad spot. Like, it is what it is. But to your point earlier, like guys like Zach Wilson and Fields, their confidence gets shot and they can't come back from it. Like, the guys just can't come back from that. Like Josh Rosen, talked about him earlier. Like, he was probably not drafted where he should have been. Like, Arizona probably overdrafted him. He went ahead of Jared Allen and Lamar Jackson, but that's easy to say now. But they also ruined him. They threw him to the Wolves in a shitty Arizona situation with no offensive line, killed him, managed to somehow trade him for a second-round pick that Arizona managed to waste. But still, Rosen has never been the same. Like, it's PTSD for those poor guys. You ruin that confidence, and not the greatest sports psychologists in the world can't get it back for them. You look at Zach Wilson's college highlights. That dude can play football. Like, he looks unbelievable. He didn't forget how to play football. He's just trash at the NFL level, I guess. That much better, I guess.
I can't find where this has all the stuff, but Caden is a Colts fan, and he needs to know 10-man PPR, keep 4, just got offered. Okay, so it's a keeper league. They keep 4. He just got offered Higgins and Metcalf for Lamb and Lockett. So the question is, which side are you going to take there, Sully?
I'm going to take the Lamb side, simply because I think he's significantly the best player in this deal and someone I'm probably going to keep going forward. Nothing wrong with Higgins and Metcalf, and I think this is a very fair offer, first and foremost, but I'll take the Lamb and Lockett side because I think it helps me now and later. Bryce?
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with this format. I'm in a 10-man 4 keeper. You keep 4 at the end of the year. And Higgins and Metcalf, both of those guys could be are guys that might be in the draft for a lot of these keeper leagues. Like, your team could be super stacked. So Lamb is definitely a keeper in this format. So I'm definitely going to go that side as well. And I like it better for this year.
That's what I mean. I like Lockett.
Yeah.
I'm on board with it.
Mm-hmm. This is my first league I ever joined is this format, and it's still going today.
Very cool.
It's funny. I have a whole chat going with Nate and Mitch and Josh, and we are all watching the Disney version of the game and not the actual regular version of the game. Bunch of grown men talking about 3D animation football.
It's because you're probably more likely to have Disney Plus than you are ESPN Plus at this point. I'm using a streaming app that is not legal to watch it regular.
I can't strike that from the record, just so you know.
Really? Like, this is permanent. This is live, dude. You can't admit to crimes live television.
The FBI just flagged our video because
Yeah, that's it
Bryce
for us.
said he's illegally watching.
Hey, that's
the
their
game.
fault for not being able to delete the app off of. It's an app that you literally download it from the app.
That's
store.
not how laws work. Just because you can break it doesn't mean that it's other people's fault.
It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me it's illegal. I think it is, but I don't know.
It's the state trooper's fault that I can go over the speed limit
Right?
on the road. It's
I
that
just
guy's
pulled it.
fault.
But there's speed limit signs posted, right? This doesn't have any postings of this is not illegal. So,
Well,
So
yeah,
here's all you
illegal-
do. Here's all you do.
Illegal stuff doesn't. When you go to your drug dealer, he doesn't wear a shirt, a bright green shirt that says "This is not legal." Don't do it.
Weed, meth, right? You're like hawking at the football game with a big thing, walking down the street.
Oh shit! Our questions. Q got.
it's the same. He's expanding on it.
We do have a question at the bottom, though.
All could be keepers. Also, a
Okay,
super
yeah.
flex. I like Higgins and Metcalf because it improves my team this year. I think Lamb and Lockett are better for this year.
I think
I
Lamb and Lockett
agree.
are also better for this year.
I agree.
Domer says, if Miles Sanders is out, looks like he's playing.
I think he is.
But if he's out, I would start Chuba over Roshan.
I would too.
So would I. That's the gift that keeps on giving, that defense in Minnesota. And I would look to see if Blackmire or whatever his name is, Rashad Blackmire or Blackmire, is available in your league and pick him up because you could probably start him today too. If that's
I think
Sounds
it's
like-
Black Shear.
Black Shear. That's it. Thank you.
He said the first one. I thought we were watching some Netflix Black
Yeah.
Mirror episodes.
That was such a
Black Mirror.
such a good.
That's some
series.
crazy stuff there.
I
So,
watched
hey-
the first episode and was like, I can't do this anymore.
You didn't like it?
And
The
was that the
big
Prime
one?
Minister? The pig? Yeah, get past
Pig.
that one. There's a lot of good ones in there. The best thing about that show is you don't have to watch them in any order. You watch them whatever you want, right? Because
I've watched a few here and there. Like I've watched the one with Anthony Mackie, and I watched the one with Aaron Paul and Josh Hartnett this past season.
That one makes you uneasy at the end. You're like,
That
"Ugh."
one's it's yeah.
I
This
haven't
last
watched it in
season,
a
I liked
while.
all of
There's
them.
a lot of-
I liked the whole last season. I thought they were all pretty entertaining.
My wife won't watch them because of the Prime Minister pig one either. So I'm gonna watch when I can.
That was a bold one to start with. That
It
turned
was
me off
bold
of
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
So are we going Jake Ferguson or Logan Thomas at the tight end?
I think I'm gonna go with Jake Ferguson.
This one's easily Logan Thomas for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Really,
go
eh?
Logan Thomas as well.
I just don't know if he makes it through the
last week,
game.
though, didn't he? Did he play last week, or did he just put up 0?
That dude, that hit that he got, anybody
No,
would
I
have
think
been
he was
out.
out.
Anybody would have been out for a week with that hit that he
Yeah.
took in the end zone on this one. That one's just not
That's
fair,
fair.
to put on him.
No, I'm not. I'm just more concerned about his soft tissue stuff that's lingering around his stuff as well. So.
All right. I'm gonna ask or answer this one, then go eat breakfast real quick. Sacks, interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recovery. Which defense players to start? 3.
Not great.
Jonathan, I'm just gonna say you're not gonna get the best advice from us 3 on the IDP
Sack
side.
interceptions for.
I mean, you gotta have Brian Burns in there.
Brian
sure.
Burns is in there for sure. After that, I don't know. I don't know how those guys compare.
I think Trey Hendrickson's pass rush and his tackles get him in there. But my biggest problem is between like Chubb and Hubbard and Rousseau and the other dude there. I don't know. Like I'm going off of name recognition alone. I don't know. Every time I watch a Bengals game, Hendrickson is all over the place. So I think I would have him in there. Brian Burns is a no-brainer in my mind. But I can't do the other ones. I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'd probably look at the projections and start whoever had the highest one at that point, to be honest. So, would you start Richardson or Cousins today?
Good question. I would, and I'm just pulling up my rankings. I have Richardson at 6 and Cousins at 7, so it's Richardson for me.
I will go with Richardson as well. Super good options. I'd look to trade one of these guys though.
Yeah, depending on format for sure.
You got 2 potential top 5 quarterbacks for the year, fantasy wise. So Hard to.
Ritter goes deep.
No.
Oh.
They had Michael Pitts on the sideline a minute ago.
Well, they're throwing the ball at least.
Yeah. Johnny Smith got a catch.
Oh,
he's spread out at wide receiver.
so Bryce, here's how you handle your football watching needs at a relatively low cost. You get a Canadian IP address and you get this streaming service called DAZN. I pay $20 a month. I get absolutely everything, including Red Zone. And then I just put it on hiatus during the off season. I don't pay anything. And then I turn it back on for NFL season. $20 a month. Boom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
We just YouTube kind of made it nice. You can get a family plan and buy the Sunday ticket. So I split it with my parents, the Sunday ticket.
Yeah,
so
I'd like
$150 for the season.
I don't have that option with YouTube in Canada. I wish I did because YouTube TV sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's cool because I can watch like 4 games at once. And then I
struggle to watch that. I usually have my Vikings game on and Red Zone on my laptop. Usually is how I do it. But a lot of times the Vikings piss me off by halftime, so I'll just go straight to Red Zone.
Yeah, I'll put what I usually like. It's kind of cool because the YouTube TV. It's like if you have all 4 up, whatever one you're scrolled over is the one with the audio is playing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I have pretty decent sized TV in my couch is pretty close to the TV. So then I bring another TV in here and just set it on the ground, and nice. I'll put the other 4 games at 1 o'clock on that one.
I like it.
And then by the 4 o'clock games, there's only like 3 or 4 games on. So then I'm just down to the main TV. Oh, there's Ritter getting sacked for. Oh man, I think Josh Allen already has 3 sacks in this game.
Wow. Yeah, I really thought Desmond Ritter might be okay. He's not. He's bad. I just don't understand how nobody trades for Andy Dalton. And I know Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton, but at least he gives you a quality start every time he's out there. Like, that's what the Jets should be doing. The Jets don't have the ability to go and get it. Like, I know everybody talks about the Vikings should trade Kirk Cousins to the Jets. The Vikings aren't dead yet, even though they probably are, because they haven't played a divisional game yet. Like,
I mean, if Kirk plays like this next year, like, and they can get their defense in order, like, they're going to be good. Like, Kirk Cousins is not playing bad at all.
Kirk Cousins
very good this year.
Totally not the problem. And Cousins has been good the last few years. It's just, for some reason, Vikings fans love to crap on Kirk Cousins. It's not his fault. Like, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns in his first 3 games, and he's the only quarterback in the history of the NFL to do that has a losing record. So, and now Derek Carr is starting for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
Out of my lineup for the 4th time now. So Cam Akers, let's get it.
If anybody's watching this and you've got a question of which Saints quarterback it is, it's Derek Carr.
Well, yeah, I knew that. I feel like every time there's a Thursday game, the stream is like significantly lower.
Yeah, everybody's watching football, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? If you're getting on here I am. 2 times. I got the freaking game on up here and down here. It's pretty behind up here. That on the one that Rick's in the Disney one is behind by like 3 plays.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. They got to freaking generate it, right? So we got a question from RB here.
Yes. Pacheco or Roshan at the flex, 0.5 PPR. I'm going Pacheco.
I think so as well. Just because I always talk about clear path to touches. I think Pacheco has the clear path to touches. I think Roshan's eventually going to take over that backfield, but it's just not eventually yet.
Yeah, it could be this week, and this could be the wrong answer. Eventually, Roshan's going to be the right answer, but we can't try and predict that week unless there's an injury. Like, we have to wait till he takes over before we can start making him our answer. Till then, it's just too big of a risk.
Agree.
So, man, who the Vikings got today?
Carolina, big 0-3 battle. So Minnesota should win today, but if Dalton was starting, I probably would have picked Carolina, to be honest. Our defense is really bad.
Should I give up Kamara for Burrow? mean, if this is a one quarterback, no way.
I think it has to be a one quarterback league because I don't know what Superflex league you're going to be able to trade Burrow for Kamara.
Yeah, no.
Carr from vice versa. So Superflex, take the quarterback. One quarterback league, take the running back.
Yeah, for sure.
By wide margins on both sides.
You guys rock. Thanks, RB.
Right back at you, man. Appreciate you being here.
Man, I made a trade this morning. We'll go to Hello Kitties and I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Hello Kitty asks, need to start 2.5 PPR, Derek Carr, Aiden O'Connell, and Nico Collins. Okay, so I'm assuming
it's got to be Superflex, right? Superflex or 2 QB.
But the way this is formatted, it sounds like they have a flex and a Superflex to put in, right? Because you can't start. You would have to start one of the quarterbacks, but is it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a
Superflex. It says the next comment. They've commented it is a Superflex league. So your question is, do I flex my quarterback or do I flex Nico Collins, right?
Okay, so who are you putting in as your main quarterback, and then who are you putting in at the Superflex spot? It sounds like is what this is.
Yeah, and it's Derek Carr and Aiden O'Connell for me, and I love Nico Collins, but I just can't when I'm in a Superflex league not start a quarterback. And I know that it's risky, but
unless your options were just like insane to even think about. Yeah, you got to go both quarterbacks here.
It's risky with Carr. Like he could get hurt on the first play of the game, right? But we'll see. I still go with him. He's in there. If he's in there, he's got to go.
Yeah, and they confirmed it was a quarterback who do you start at quarterback and then who do you start at Superflex? So
yeah, I would definitely
go quarterbacks. My team is T-Law, Tannehill. Running backs are Kamara, Hall, Saquon, JT. Wide receivers, Devontae, Terry, Jacoby, Amari, Trey, or Scary Terry, Palmer. Tight ends are Kelsey, Carlson, and Dallas defense. It's a 1 QB league, full PPR.
So is this the Burrow Kamara question? Is this the same person?
Yes. Should I give up Kamara for Burrow? 1 QB. So
you throw that roster back up there again?
Yeah. So no, I'm more uncomfortable starting T-Law the whole year.
Yeah, you have no need to go get Joe Burrow, especially injured.
You're probably not going to feel comfortable putting in Bryce Hall. If at any point in the season, way later, once they maybe change their quarterback situation. So I'm really happy with doing Saquon, JT, and Kamara. And heck, there's question marks about JT when he'll be back playing. There's rumors that say he's not going to play with the Colts unless he gets a contract, but he's not being traded. So I don't know. Luckily, you've got some depth.
The Ravens should trade. The Ravens should trade for Jonathan Taylor because they need a running back, and they don't have a running back under contract for next year. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone. They got to pay somebody anyway. So just trade for Jonathan Taylor, give up a second, and pay him half-ass decent running back money. Sold, and then that team is stupid good.
Yeah. Yep. I'd like to see Jonathan Taylor on the Ravens. Definitely a run first team. There's really a ton of teams you'd like to see him on, but
I traded my only Jonathan Taylor, or one of my only Jonathan Taylor shares in a in a Superflex tight end premium for Waller in a first, and I hate myself.
I traded for Jonathan Taylor this morning. I traded Javonte Williams and Zay Flowers for Jonathan Taylor in a second.
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
it's reasonable both sides.
Yep. All right, Richard Hernandez, standard league, need a flex. Kamara, Mostert, or Jerome Ford. Also, QB options are Tua and Burrow. This is easy. I'm easily sticking with Tua at quarterback.
I don't see why you don't, unless you have Hurts, Allen, or Mahomes. I think Tua is your quarterback on a weekly basis. And I'm going to stick with Mostert here. Like, I know Kamara's coming back, and we like what he looks like, but Mostert is electric right now. He's flying. He's running around like he's 21, not 31. So I'm going to go with him.
Mostert, when he's healthy, has been always a fantastic running back, and he's healthy right now.
So good.
So, yeah, McDaniel's definitely built that team around speed.
Yep.
T-Law's going off today. Yeah, so I got a touchdown the first half. If he can get one every quarter, the first quarter. If he can get one every quarter, it's gonna be a solid day. He's due for a big week. He's been pretty he's been subpar so far.
And he's been without his full array of weapons every week this year too, right? So let's see what happens.
Except week 1, right?
Yeah, you're right. Week 1 he had them. So we'll see what happens when they get that band back together and Bigsby gets a little bit more acclimated to the NFL. I think that offense is severely underrated.
Jackson asks flex, Devon Achane, Josh Palmer, or Michael Thomas.
It might be Achane for me here.
Yeah. If you want a ceiling play, I'm definitely going Achane. If you really just need a floor play, I wouldn't argue against Michael Thomas.
I agree with that.
So.
I don't think any one of those three is a bad pick, really. I think Palmer's going to be pretty involved in that game as well, especially with Akers out and Williams gone.
Palmer's going to be a DFS smash this week.
He's going to be in every cash lineup there is, I think.
Yeah, he's the minimum. 4,000 is like his cost too. So yeah, he's going to be there.
Yeah,
T-Law's been disappointing this year, and he's looking for a quarterback.
Well, yeah, the guy you're talking about trading for is Joe Burrow, and if you want to talk about struggling quarterbacks this year, you found one.
Well, one QB league. I mean, usually you can find some on the waiver wire as well that you might be able to. You got one QB leagues. I try to kind of treat quarterbacks similar to defenses. Like, man, I don't have a problem streaming them. So, who from my wide receiver 2 in flex spot? Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Jacoby Meyer, Tank Dell, Marvin Mims Jr., James Conner, Zeke Elliott. He's got Jettas as his wide receiver 1. So, who are you picking as a wide receiver 2, and then who are you throwing into the flex spot?
Who's Seattle play?
The Giants tomorrow night.
So I think it's Tyler Lockett is my wide receiver 2. And I think I'm flexing James Conner.
I'm going to go James Conner at my flex with Amari Cooper as my wide receiver 2.
Can't argue that.
No, I really like, honestly, all the options except Marvin Mims Jr. Don't really like that option in comparison to the others as the wide receiver 2, but
it's hard, right? Because I want to get Tank Dell in my lineup. I want to get Jacoby Myers in my lineup. Like, I want to get all those guys in my lineup. So that's a tough decision to make.
Yeah, Tank Dell kind of falls after that because again, it just goes to snap percentage. I mean, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Jacoby Meyer, they're going to be in the 90% snap percentage. Where Tank Dell could be up there, but I mean, last week he was at 70%. So yeah. Full PPR, need 2 out of the 3. Chuba, McKinnon, Rashee Rice.
Well, it depends on Sanders for me here. If Sanders is out, it's Chuba McKinnon. If Sanders is in, it's McKinnon. Actually, I think it's Rice and McKinnon if Sanders plays.
Yeah, if it's McKinnon and Rice if Sanders is in. If not, it's going to be McKinnon and Chuba for me. And we're caught up again. Oh, nope. 2 questions just came in back to back.
Nice. Look at
Thanks,
this.
guys. My first year playing fantasy. I'm a baseball guy, so it's probably the first year I'm completely into the NFL. I'll be looking for next season. The best way to get into the NFL is fantasy by far.
100%.
So.
And if you're a fantasy baseball player, you're up to speed on lineups and waivers and all these other things because fantasy baseball is a full-time job. So I hope you enjoy fantasy football as much as we do. So welcome.
Another Jonnu Smith catch. Jerks. Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, or Tank Dell at my flex. Thanks.
I think we've had similar questions, and I think I've been on Michael Thomas in these scenarios, but it would be between Dell and Thomas for me. I'm not very bullish on Thielen this week with Bryce Young back under center.
Yeah, I'm going Michael Thomas as well. I like all these options though this week. I really do. I know Thielen had a great week with Andy Dalton last week, but even the week prior, he had a pretty good week with Bryce Young. So it seems that he's emerging as the number 1 guy in that.
Yeah, I think he is easy. And Bijan Robinson's good, just in case anybody didn't know. Like,
did he just get a nice play? I didn't see it.
It's a simple little 7 or 8 yard run, but he just made it look so easy. Like, he's so quick.
Yeah, his acceleration might be is probably the best in the league already at the running back position.
Yeah, like of all the rookies
go.
Of all the rookie film that I've watched since I started doing rookie breakdowns, is like he's the only guy that's really ever made me say wow watching rookie film. And that was his tape from last year, and his ability to accelerate and gain speed while cutting at the same time. I've never seen that before. And it's amazing how electric he is.
Yeah, this game needs some more points put up. It's getting a little boring. Desmond Ridder 6 for 8, 53 yards. I mean, geez.
But that's his week every week. Like he's a high percentage thrower. He just doesn't throw the ball downfield, and they don't throw the ball enough.
Yeah, I can't imagine if they don't at least look decent this year. I mean, if they just win these games,
maybe that's why he doesn't throw the ball very much. I don't know if you've seen this or not yet.
No, I think you're ahead of me. So let me see. While I'm looking, Chris Godwin or Devin Achane this week?
I'm going to go with Achane. I just think they're going to try to keep the hot hand going, and something's up with Chris Godwin and Baker Mayfield. So I'll go with Achane.
I will go Achane as well. I can see that running backfield moving forward as like a one drive, other, every other drive, the different running back. So
did you see what I was talking about?
No, I'm still behind.
Are you watching cartoons?
No. No, I'm on the regular one, but again, I'm streaming it. Not gonna lie, fantasy baseball consumes way more time than fantasy football. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, I couldn't even think about that. Like I'd be like fantasy basketball, probably the same way, right?
I never played fantasy basketball. Hockey's the same way. I've done that, but
I really don't watch any other sports besides the UFC and football. So
I've
gotten more into college football, but I just
don't have time. I can't do football Monday, Thursday, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Oh, now I see. Oh, that's a pick six.
That sure is.
Oh, okay. I was about to say he almost catches him.
So how long, and I'll wait till Rick gets back in here to ask this question. If you're Atlanta, how long before you make the move to Taylor Heineke? Do you do it at halftime today? You're 2-1. Your season, you're in a division that you can win. It doesn't look like you're going to do very well with the guy you have at quarterback right now.
I mean, it has to be thought about, right? Like they have to.
I think so.
I mean, they're 2-1. If they lose, I don't think it'll be at halftime. I mean, if anything, it'll probably be. I mean, there's still 4 minutes left, so it could be dependent on this drive, honestly. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see it more like next week, if anything. So
it has to be a reason they signed Heineke, right? They needed some insurance. That's another guy who could start for the Jets that would be better off than what they have.
Do y'all think? Oh, we clicked on the same time, don't we?
Yep. Do y'all think Jameson is a must start next week due to the suspension being let up a week early? It was actually 2 weeks early due to the new NFL gambling rules. No, I don't think he's a must start.
No, a ton of mouths to feed on that offense. I don't know. I mean, he's gotten to practice with them, which is good, but I want to see what his role is. I can't imagine he's on the field for more than 70% of the snaps. So
I don't even know if he's a must roster, let alone a must start. And obviously, if it's a dynasty league, it's absolutely a must roster. But in redraft, I don't even know if he should be on your roster. But that's league size dependent and everything else. But no, definitely not a must start. This is a guy who's struggled to get onto the field. And when he did get on the field, he's had 1 catch and 3 targets. Like, I'm not over the moon for him. I've sold my dynasty shares. I'm out. So I don't think he's a must anything, to be honest.
I think he's a must roster. I think the upside's there with that offense, and if he is the number 2, but it's not a given. It could definitely go the opposite direction. I think there's just upside. That 1 catch was really pretty good. Long touchdown, right? 60-yard touchdown.
Bryce, what's going on with Ramondre? Rappaport just reported that Zeke is getting the starters reps today.
This might be the little revenge game narrative they put on this game. I don't think anything.
Are they playing Dallas today?
Yeah.
They're playing Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
They did the same thing like last week. Like Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker got way more volume when they played against Miami than they normally do. So I don't know if that's Bill O'Brien trying to utilize some emotion to try and help out the team, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But, I mean, Zeke and Ramondre got like the same amount of touches last week. So
another report just dropped
each.
that DTR is starting for the Browns.
Is he really?
That's what just popped up. But I've also seen reports that Jameson Winston's starting 4 times today, and he's not.
I think in every league I've got Deshaun Watson. Dude, in the Superflex now, I don't have a starting quarterback. I've got Jameis and Deshaun Watson. So
I would trade you Daniel Jones if I could.
So I think I'm just going to start. I have to start Jameis, right? Let's see. Hold on. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Jameis, because I don't have any other quarterback. I had 2 rostered.
I'm excited to see DTR, to be honest with you.
So
luckily in the intergalactic, I've got him on my squad, so I'm okay with that one.
Mr. Thompson. Scampers just came in. Well, first off, Jonathan said he appreciated hearing the different POVs. No problem. That's what we're here for. Mr. Scamper says DTR starting.
Hey, sounds like it.
He looked fun. He looked fun to watch in the preseason.
So I guess that changes our Amari Cooper thoughts then, right? You got to downgrade him a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's getting he's getting a lot of good looks from Watson. And Watson looked bad weeks 1 and 2. Last week looked a lot better. I mean, week 1 and 2 he looked pretty horrible. And then last week he looked pretty decent, but again, that was against the Titans secondary. So
it's Taylor Heineke season.
I was getting ready to say
he just threw another pick.
Yeah, and then I don't know what the Jags were.
Did I just say if he? I said that. Well, there's still 4 minutes left, so he could lose it. And he throws a pick.
Yeah,
dude, I love the little animation with the army characters carrying the interception sign.
Yeah, they did a good job with like the animations for like turnovers, touchdowns, and stuff like that.
I don't know what did they try to do. Lateral it here on this. It's hard to tell in this. Disney.
I don't know where you're at. I don't know where you're at.
On the interception, it looked like the Jags tried to lateral it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Or did he fumble? I can't tell on this broadcast.
It just looked like he got tackled.
You know what? If Deshaun Watson didn't have an $80 billion contract, I could see DTR taking this job from him.
I think in the day nowadays of the NFL and Kevin Stefanski, if he wants to keep his job, he's got to ride with whoever plays the best.
Yeah,
I get it.
Goes out there and does it.
I got it. Yeah. I don't disagree with you, but if I just cut a check to somebody for whatever the hell they cut that check for, he's playing. Right. And if you don't want to play him, I'll go get a coach that will. Because I'm not a fan of guy
who spearheaded that? Was it the front office that spearheaded that, or was it Stefanski that spearheaded that? That also comes into play, you know.
Does. I would think they were all involved in it, obviously, but I think at the end of the day, the owner takes the advice from the administrative people that he hires. So, yeah, you are correct, Scott. We've been on for a while here, and there's been about 5 reports since we started that it was Winston, then Carr, then Winston, and then Carr. So we're back.
Taylor says so about starting London.
Hey, we got a second half, and it might be Taylor Heineke season.
Just remember, I didn't say London, Taylor. Stick with me, Taylor. I was not on London.
I think I only chose him over somebody else. I didn't.
It's the first half, and garbage time equals fantasy points for sure. So
that is true. I think I only chose him over Hollywood.
Now
London's going to be like that guy that you try and acquire if you're rebuilding, for sure.
Caleb says,
"What the hell happened to Jacksonville?" I gotta stop watching the football game and pay attention to this.
Ritter is so bad. He's constantly throwing into triple coverage for what?
Yeah, he is. He's a one-read guy.
That's just it. Stares down his dude. Young guys that can't get through progression, so they're either going to throw it to you or not, and they decide to throw it. So,
Jonathan said, "Is Keaton's hype in Baltimore offense worth stashing to IR?"
I don't personally think so, but if you can put him on your IR spot, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Why, there's plenty of opportunity for him to potentially take over or at least get some, valuable reps in when he does come off IR. I mean, Justice Hill and Gus Edwards haven't looked anything super spectacular. So why not? I have him on some taxi squads, and I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with he's not taking up any roster spots. So fine with me. If you can use that IR similar to a taxi spot for a while, might as well. Who is this?
Yeah, I don't.
Next.
I don't see them going against the veterans they've got. So I don't know that he's going to get any action, but who knows? They also have injuries like every day at their running back position. So
yeah, I think the experience of Melvin Gordon is, as archaic as he is, probably keeps him on the field ahead of that kid, though.
Well, I think Kenyon Drake was even used.
He's still there too,
more than Melvin Gordon last week because I seen quite a bit of action for him too.
They were both a little bit active there. Yep.
Mahomes against the Jets or Cousins against Carolina today? Mahomes every time, no matter who he plays.
Come on, Dad.
Correct.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is that your dad?
Yeah.
Hey,
always Mahomes.
Don't take advice from your son. He's bad at fantasy football. We don't even know why he's on this show.
Guess who he's playing today, and guess who is and he has not won a game, and I'm 1-2, but I'm like the third highest scorer in the league. But
you guys played each other today?
In this league that he's asking this question.
Good luck today, Matt. Good luck today, Matt. I think it's Patrick Mahomes, and I also think we got to get that food truck up to Canada somehow. I got to eat some of that food, man. Oh, that looks good. I lick my phone every time I see that crap on Facebook. Oh, bring it.
It is good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Oh, now I'm hungry.
Two. Ayuk, Myers, and Dell. Which two are we going with? Ayuk's easy for me.
Me too, and I'm going to go with Myers here.
Me too.
I feel like I went with Myers earlier, but I got these guys really, really close.
Yeah, they should be close.
You could probably chalk it up to some ceiling and floor play if you wanted.
I could see Aiden Hill really leaning on that middle slot, not that far a target kind of guy. Today.
I do too, but
not Aiden Hill, Aiden O'Connell.
That like Adams does it too, though. He runs all through the middle of the field, and it was all him last week. So
yeah. Don't worry about Devontae Adams. He'll be just
I will go with Myers. I knew he would freaking be good for this team, and I was so mad that
you guys should have kept him.
I know I tried to talk myself into Juju being a good, because he wasn't bad last year, but man, we should have kept Myers. I really like Jacoby too. Got a signed helmet from this one right here, freaking autographed by him.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Don't you love when you get autographs of guys and then they leave?
Yeah,
it's jerseys for me.
I've got I've got a bunch of stuff back there of a guy that's going to be playing for somebody else soon. Maybe
as long as it has value, man. Who gives a shit what uniform he's wearing in it?
Well, it doesn't have any right now. And speaking of that, are we going Fields or Richardson at quarterback? Scott needs to know.
Richardson for me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got to be Richardson at this point.
Yeah, it's Richardson for me as well, but
I don't feel bad starting Fields this week. I really don't.
I'm hoping today's the day that it turns around. Hoping it's like that Patriots game last year when they finally decided not to run that stupid offense.
They did.
And that's what it is. I think they just give him. Oh my goodness! Get the ball into Justin Fields' hands and let him run.
Don't tell us. You're like
let him run.
Like foreshadowing.
Jesse needs to know
for the game.
Jesse needs to know. Pick two of these: Cooper, Godwin, Lockett, Pickens, Thielen. Which two are you going with, Bryce?
Lockett is now my number one, and I am gonna still stick with Amari. At this point, I'll stick with the best player in Amari Cooper.
That's the same for me. That's the two I'm going with. Despite the contract, I think DTR might actually be an upgrade passing the ball over the current iteration of Deshaun Watson. So I'm not afraid to put Cooper in there.
It's Lockett for sure, and I think it's Yeah, I'll join you guys in Amari Cooper. I want to say Pickens because I think you can throw against Houston, but I don't think they will. I think they'll run more. So I'll go with Lockett Cooper. Did you see what I saw? There you go.
That would have been it. That would have been it for him.
Should be it anyway.
I'm not
that
there
was
yet.
Okay.
You're about to be. It's this next play because I got this game up too.
The one after the Bijan?
Yeah.
That was 15 yards underthrown.
Oh my gosh. It would have been a walk-in touchdown.
Was that London too?
No, it was Matt Collins. Tell about that big poofy fro. Hey, Kyle Pitts got a catch.
He did.
Oh my.
Wait. Jonnu Smith, I think, has more catches than Kyle Pitts today.
Can anybody see outside? Like, do we have any weird weather or is the world coming to an end? Kyle Pitts.
Like here in Calgary, it seems okay.
Oh.
Johnny D says, stuck between Myers, Mostert, Jacobs is flex, PPR. Wide receivers are Adams, Lamb. Running backs are ETN, DeAndre Swift. This is easily Mostert for me. If he's healthy, he is a must start every week, in my opinion.
Yep, Mostert for me as well. Did you see that he said 0 RB strategy works, but yet he was probably like one of the guys always drafted in that strategy? Like the 0 running back draft strategy for redraft leagues, like you draft every position pretty much until running back. But like when it come down to when you did need to draft running back, it was guys like Mostert and James Conner that were always, it seemed like that were always there, which was funny to me. So it's like, yeah, it does work, and you're kind of the proof it does.
I've been 0 RBing forever, but it seems more beneficial this year than ever. But I'm with you on that last one on Mostert, without a doubt. We were talking about that when you were on your break, that if he's active and healthy, he's a go. Like I was saying he looks like he's 21, not 31, so easy start for me.
Do you think Marvin Mims is a good bench stash?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's flex worthy probably in the back half of the season, so I would say for sure.
Yep, I'm there because I would anticipate that if Denver keeps struggling, Jerry Jeudy could be on the move at the trade deadline. I mean, there was a lot of talk in the offseason. If they're still struggling, I could see him getting moved. And typically the people that are trading for guys at the trade deadline have decent offenses, being in the playoff race and everything. So
Kansas City be a nice spot for him, but that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, right. The in-division trade, probably not. Yeah. But who knows? We saw Detroit trade T.J. Hawkinson to the Vikings last year, and it's worked out. It's worked out for both. Yeah.
Where's Jeudy in his contract?
This is his last year. He's in a contract here right now. He's a free.
So I don't think Denver's motivated then to move him. If they'd already extended him, then I could see it a little bit more likely. But I think he moves. I don't disagree with Rick. I just don't think he goes to. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't think Denver really cares if they trade him to Kansas City because they're going to be, probably a 1 or 2 win team at best at that time. So Lawrence is targeting Kirk like crazy today.
I've seen Lawrence get sacked like twice in the past 5 plays or something.
I think Josh Allen might have 3 or 4 sacks already in this game.
Well, but he didn't sack Trevor Lawrence.
I know, but like this has just been like a game of just people getting annihilated.
That'd be terrible. That's how you get ran out of a town, sacking your own quarterback.
Yeah, true.
Thanks, guys. Do y'all think Jeff Wilson will take over majority RB1 duties when he returns from IR soon, being he is their highest paid running back? No, he may not even dress when he's healthy.
He will be the number 3 by a long shot.
That's another guy that I could see being on the move.
Yeah, him being the most paid is still not saying much because he's not getting paid like a huge amount. So,
no, and let's be real, he's probably the 3rd best running back on that roster right now.
He definitely is. Yeah, I would agree.
Who should I start? Michael Thomas, Jerry Jeudy, Nico, Tank Dell, or Joshua Palmer? This is for Bob, and we're starting 1. So.
Man, it seems like we've had this question like so much, and it's all the Collins, Dell, Palmer, Thomas, Jeudy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still Jerry Jeudy for me, just based on opponent. But I'd be happy, honestly, starting any of these guys. So that doesn't really help Bob very much, but I would start Jeudy. I think his volume is there, and the productivity is definitely going to be there today.
Yep, I think my answer has been Jerry Jeudy all day. So
Yeah, I mean, again, Kyler Gordon out, Blackman out. Those are the nickel corners that would be on Jerry Jeudy the most, probably. Throughout the day. Jalen Johnson out. So even if he's on the outside, they don't have it out there either. Jerry Judy's just in too good of a matchup against a defense that, even with those guys starting, was not doing well. Now they're down 4 of their 6 top secondary players. It's Jerry Jeudy. Bears are bad. And my Cubs blew their play. What did they do? We broke a modern era record with like 7 games where we had the lead in the 7th inning and blew it over the last over a 2-week stretch.
So you guys out?
Literally, yeah, we got eliminated last night even after winning, but we literally gave it away. We had 7 games where we had the lead in the 7th inning or later and blew them in the last 2 weeks of the season. Pick 2, Henry, James Cook, Mostert. So Mostert, easy. And then I think I go James Cook.
Yep.
I'm sitting James Cook, and I know it's probably the wrong answer. It's Henry and Mostert for me.
Sky wants to know, are we using the Browns or the Steelers defense?
I will go with the Steelers defense today. Easier to sack C.J. Stroud and than mobile Lamar Jackson. That's probably much the only.
There's too many dropbacks for Houston not to play the Steelers in this matchup, right? Like, that's how you get sacks. That's how you get turnovers. There might be twice as many dropbacks from Houston as there are from Lamar and the Ravens. So
that's where I'm at
as well.
That's where I'm at. CJ Stroud's throwing the ball on average about 45 times a game right now, and he's probably not going to slow down anytime soon. So the opportunity for sacks and picks is just too great.
Yep. And he looks good
so far. Yeah,
he does. Really good. I was wrong on him.
He was my QB1 going into the season.
I know he was.
Putting him over Richardson,
and I know it's super early in his career, but man, Bryce Young does not look like he's going to be an NFL quarterback to me. But it's early.
It's definitely early, but I agree with you. I was worried about him. I had Richardson, who's also looked really good when he's on the field.
I had
left
him as my
both of the games that he played early, then didn't play last week. So that's going to be the issue with him, but he's looked really good, and especially from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah. They got
so him and Stroud have both been welcome additions to the quarterback group in the NFL.
Yep.
Richard says full PPR, need a flex. Mike Evans, Damian Pierce, or Michael Thomas. I'm going Michael Thomas here.
Mike Evans for me.
I'll go Michael Thomas this week. Every time I pick Mike Evans when he goes against Marcus Lattimore, it always ends badly, I feel like. So
I hear you.
Taylor says if you don't trust your quarterback in 2-minute drill, your opponent knows you don't trust your quarterback in 2-minute drill, and you still run it for negative yardage. Probably something wrong.
Sounds like an Atlanta Falcons post.
It's about to be interesting to see who comes out the second half.
Scott says, would you trade Olave for Pacheco and DJ Moore?
No.
I would not.
No format would I do that.
So if you're trading Olave for Pacheco and DJ Moore, you're assuming you're going to start both Pacheco and DJ Moore. So I'd love to know who you're sitting in addition to losing Olave, but no. Usually in a 2-for-1, do I think the 2 are going to score more points than the 1? I'm not so sure here. So for me, it's Olave.
Yeah, I'm not a big Pacheco guy, so I don't think you're going to be starting him very often. I think you're going to be starting DJ Moore down the stretch, and
flexing for sure.
He may even be close to Olave in production. I think he will be. But Pacheco, I don't even know if you're going to be able to start him. I just don't know. From week to week, we don't know what they do with the running backs. And, McKinnon barely gets used in weeks 1 and 2 and then has 2 touchdowns in week 3. They spread it around. So, yeah, I would keep Olave. Mondre, Rashad, Kelly, or Warren in full PPR for Big Trev.
This is easily Armandre for me.
We're only picking one, then absolutely Ramondre.
I go, yeah, Ramondre and Rashad are the only ones that I would even consider starting, with Ramondre being ahead by a bit.
Oh, cool. I'm just seeing some highlights of the Toy Story stuff. I haven't seen any of it. This is awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's genius here. Genius.
They just show the pick six, and the guy's got a fire trail going up behind him as he's taking it to the house.
They got the pizza.
The alien's got a little touchdown sign. This is so cool, man.
The little camera that they have that, like, you know, that are on the wires or whatever, that they have like an alien, one of the little like aliens that have a claw holding it. So silly.
With how solid Zach Moss has been doing as the Colts RB1, how do y'all think they reintegrate JT? Listen, if JT plays for the Colts, Zach Moss is nothing. Point blank.
So when you sit there and watch a guy like Zach Moss, who I think RotoHeat has been right on since he came out as being nothing special, I guess I ask myself, man, what would Jonathan Taylor be doing in this backfield right now? Like, Jonathan Taylor would be the number one running back in fantasy by probably a mile right now if he started the year healthy. I don't worry about him integrating back into anything. I don't think he's coming back to the Colts. I think he does get traded. Nonetheless, if for some reason he does, wherever he goes, you start him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he and Christian McCaffrey be way ahead of the field right now for sure.
Jesse needs to know, who do we have for the flex? Godwin, Pickens, Thielen, Henry, Cook. Again, guys, with the Cook, make sure we know if it's Dalvin or James. I'm assuming it's James because Dalvin's not even in the conversation. But
I'm
going. If this is James Cook, I'm going James Cook.
Me too.
I'm still starting Derrick Henry over James Cook, so I can't go Cook. It's Henry for me, and I hate myself.
Here we go. We're in the shit bowl. Which one we playing? Justin Fields or Russell Wilson?
I'm gonna go with Broncos country. Give me Russ.
I'm going Fields here.
Listen, with ESB being in there instead of Claypool, it leads me to believe that another big part of that is they are going to be running outside. And
do you know what ESB does really well?
Blocking,
Blocks,
run blocking.
100% right. So
That's
look out.
exactly,
Here we go.
I feel like they're going back, like I said, to that Week 7 game in New England last year when they unleashed Justin. He might run for 130 yards today and get a few touchdowns in there. So I'm going Fields here on the upside play.
Yep, me too.
CC Sharks wants to know Ravens D or Bengals D, and Jerome Ford or Damian Pierce. So I'm going Jerome Ford over Damian Pierce. Damian Pierce has been pretty bad this year. So Ravens have Cleveland.
DTR.
The Bengals
Throw some.
Bengals have
Bengals
Tennessee. Tennessee.
Give me the Bengals.
Me too.
That offensive line is so bad.
And Tannehill sucks. And I hate to say it, an NFL starter sucks, but he sucks.
Yeah, in comparison to the other NFL starters, he does.
Well,
would you rather have
Ritter, right?
Yeah, that's
what
what
I was
Zach
Would you rather
Wilson.
have Ritter or Tannehill?
I literally was about to ask that.
I might actually want Ritter on Tennessee versus Tannehill on Tennessee. But
I'll take
Ritter's
Tannehill, but
probably I would too, but not for long. Anyway,
this is like shitting in two piles and then being like, which one's your favorite?
totally. Which one do I eat? Exactly.
Oh, I wasn't going that far. Jesus.
Hey, that's pretty much what it is, dude.
Hey, Bryce.
Hey, what do you guys got going on there?
We got the old blue C4s going.
It's good.
Is that a
Not
Monster?
even planned.
I'd C4 today. I've been drinking some
It's
Monsters.
energy drink.
Who
I
makes
guess.
that?
Who
Is
does
that-
make C4?
I think it's a Pepsi. I think.
Potential
Who
sponsor
makes-
is what I'm seeing here.
Oh, who makes
No.
rain? Doesn't Pepsi make rain?
They might.
they
I
have
don't know.
they have
Rain's
this
nasty though.
No, they have these ones that are like skinnier bottles, like Red Bull size ones, and it's like they have this orange one, and it's actually good. The other Rains I hate, but that one, it's small. It's a smaller can, and it's like it almost tastes like a Fanta, like an orange
That
Fanta.
shit's gonna kill you guys.
I don't know.
Well, so is
Something
everything else
always
I've done
does,
in my
though.
life. Yeah.
Something else always does.
So who be starting, Thielen or Atwell?
2-2 for me.
I'm
2-2
actually gonna
for
go.
me.
I'm gonna go Thielen here.
I'm going 2-2 as well.
Worried about Thielen with Bryce. It's my overlying message today.
Full PPR, choose 3, Mixon, Achane, James Cook, Kyron, Kamara. So
Sheesh.
you got
Jeez,
good
that's a
running
good
back
running
depth.
back for him.
I'm going Kamara, Mixon, and Kyron.
So Mixon and Kamara jumped out at me as the easy 2.
I would agree. I think I'm gonna go James Cook for my third one. I really want pieces in that matchup as well today.
And I'm going to stay in that matchup, but I'm going to go the other side of it and take Achane. I think they're going to just try to keep him going. So, but Mixon and Kamara ahead of the other 2 rather easily for me.
Yeah, then we
Or
really
3,
made it.
pardon me.
We really cleared up the third guy for you though.
So we all picked a different third guy.
guy.
Okay, so who do you have second if that's not your third? So if you're
Bryce,
going Kyron, who are you going, Cook or Achane?
Cook.
Rick? Okay, and Bryce, who are you going, Achane or Kyron?
I would go Kyron.
Okay, there you go. So I think Kyron is your guy if you go on the process of elimination.
So you're going Cook last then.
I am.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, I'd have Cook ahead of Kyron.
So then it would be James Cook.
Well,
Because
it's either Cook or Kyron. It's the same thing.
No, because you have Kyron last. I have Kyron second to last. And James Cook is in mine, and he's both your guys' number 2.
Dude, I think no matter how we do it, it's all even. I
Carry
think we
the
all have
4,
one of them
right?
first,
No,
second,
We
third.
do. Dude,
No.
put
We all have
Kamara,
them
Mixon,
first,
and
second,
Kyron
third.
in and call it a day.
All of it. We all have
James
each of
Cook.
them.
James
in
Cook was
order.
never anybody's last. Achane was somebody's last. Kyron was
You're
somebody's
right. Bryce is right.
last. James Cook was never anybody's last choice. So it'd be James Cook with that math.
Gross.
I'm
Fields
gonna
or
let you
Stroud?
guys. I'll let you guys answer this because this isn't my question, but I do have this dilemma in one of my leagues.
Fields.
That's what I've got in. Okay.
Scott says, thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Saints
Scott.
or Bucks defense?
Play each other.
Saints.
The Bucks
Yep.
defense has surprisingly been not good against the run, in addition to being not good against the pass, and they haven't really played anybody good.
They still get stacks either.
Ritter is back under center to start the second half. I will take the Saints D here, please.
One of these commentators doesn't look like he's wearing pants. He's got like skin-colored pants. It looks like
I'm not
he's-
wearing pants.
It literally looks like he's up there with like just a jacket on. Do we sit Amari with Watson out? Depends on your options, right?
I like this side by side with the real broadcast of the cartoon one. That was pretty cool. No, I honestly don't know that this is a downgrade for the Browns. I'm being completely honest. I understand name recognition, but Deshaun Watson has not been good. I don't know that this is a downgrade. I'm still firing up Amari.
I need to see who you have to have some pretty good options to just get directly away from Amari Cooper. I have one share of Amari and he's starting unless my co-managers changed it while I've been on the stream.
I'm not sitting Amari Cooper. Not unless I've got really good options.
Oh boy.
Tony wants to know Waddle, Devonta Smith, Ayuk, or Mixon.
Holy
Just
Lord.
one?
That's what it reads like.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
This is so like when I look at
Devonta
this,
Smith.
It's Devonta Smith or Ayuk for me.
Same.
But Ayuk's kind of coming back off of something, so I'll go Smith.
I think when I look at guys like this option, obviously you can play this floor and ceiling, and the ceiling plays for me got to be like Smith or Waddle. But the more safe plays that still have has a decent ceiling would be Ayuk. So I think I go Ayuk because I think he has the least probability of putting up the worst numbers.
I think Ayuk's ceiling is just as good as the other guys as well.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. I think it's a little lower, but because you don't really see him making like really big plays down the field like you do see with Waddle and Smith. So
was Smith injured last week, or did they just decide to make AJ Brown happy again?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Okay,
it was let's appease. They threw the ball down the field a couple times to Smith.
But that was about it, right? Like he only had 2 or 3 targets, but they were both big gainers, I think. So
how far was that run for Bijan?
It was like 40
It was
yards.
big, and he is freaking good. Like
both of that running back group's good.
They're not giving Algier the ball much today.
But Algier ripped a 9-yard run off right before Bijan ripped off that 40-yarder. So
good because he only had like 18 yards at half in the run game.
I love this view from the face mask. Yeah. So what did we all decide? I had Devonta.
I went Ayuk.
I did too.
You did too.
I went Devonta, but Ayuk could be my second choice here. So
George Pickens or Jalen Waddle for the flex. This is easily George Pickens for me.
Really? I'm Waddle.
I read this as Jalen
Warren. Okay, I'm like,
I read it as Jalen. Whoa, Jalen Waddle for me.
Jalen Waddle for me.
It's easily Waddle for me.
I was like,
I was getting my Canadian money ready.
I was getting my pen ready.
I'm watching the game and reading that, and then I think Pittsburgh, and then see Jalen and went Warren, and I'm like, what?
We were about to have our first Waddle. We were about to have our first $50 bet on the stream.
Breece Hall or Roschon Johnson versus Denver.
Give me Roschon.
I'm taking Roschon. Come on, Rick. Take him.
Okay, you guys know I love Roschon. I've started my Roschon PC. Have you seen the cards I've picked up for Roschon?
Mm-mm.
I got the black mosaic 101.
You might want to hedge your bets and buy some cards from another organization. Just saying.
Value's not where I'm at with Roschon. I just love Roschon.
I do too. I really do.
I'll go Roschon here. I think that they're going to start this new style offense, and we know that even the running backs, when Justin Fields took off, the running backs took off as well last year when they actually started running the ball. So I'll go there. Should I still go with Amari Cooper if Deshaun Watson is out, or Lockett, Myers, Tank Dell, or Mims? Okay, so for me, you do have options here that you could switch off of. Are you guys switching off of Amari Cooper here? I'm going to stick with him.
I have Lockett ahead of Cooper anyway, so I regardless of quarterback, I'm Lockett here.
I'm taking Lockett here now that the quarterback change gives me Lockett.
And I would put Jacoby ahead too.
I wouldn't argue with it, but I'll stick with Cooper.
You guys, I won't say anything. I'm ahead of you.
Lockett for me here.
Yeah.
Same.
Easily.
Do I start Aiden O'Connell since Deshaun Watson is out?
Deshaun Watson's your other quarterback, yes.
Yeah, it just depends on options. I'm not starting Aiden O'Connell unless I have to.
You probably could, if it's a redraft, you could probably pick up Dorian on the waivers.
I would start Aiden over. Would you start Aiden or DTR? I'd start DTR. Yeah, so what?
You got to get the rushing upside, right? The rushing upside changes it.
I remember watching Addison tape for this season and going, "Who's that quarterback? That quarterback looks pretty good." And then the more I watched, it was like, "Yeah, you guys got some reprieve there, hey?"
He's gonna He's going to see it here in a second.
There it is. There it is. Put that super chat up there.
I take it back. Everything bad I said. London for 6.
Yeah.
Nice catch, too.
Take it down.
Why'd you take it down? Jeez.
Good throw.
Yeah, hey,
it was a good
like
throw.
I said,
throw.
First half, it's not bad when if you have a wide receiver on the team that's down 17-0. That's always a good situation for that running back to bounce back in the second half. So
yeah.
Dame says, I need a flex in PPR. I have Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Jerry Jeudy, and Ramondre Stevenson. So who should he play in the flex? Bryce, are you going Ramondre, or are you going to go one of those receivers?
I just really want Jerry Jeudy today, and I feel like Ramondre and Zeke are going to be more 50-50 today. I'll go with Jerry Jeudy. I will say if you want a floor play, I would probably go with Ramondre, but I think the ceiling play here has got to be Jerry Jeudy. That Dallas and Patriots game might not be more than 30 points scored today.
Could be 6-3. It's Jerry Jeudy for me, too, and I'm just really concerned that we're going to kill Jerry Jeudy before he even gets on the field because we're all over him this week.
Yeah, I'm going Amari Cooper.
Really?
But it's just barely over Jerry Jeudy. Like I said, I don't know that DTR is a downgrade. And I still think Amari Cooper is one of the probably 8 most talented receivers in the league.
He's damn good.
Their offense gets up with DTR, then Cooper could have a big day. It's so close between him and Jeudy, though. I mean, that Jeudy matchup is just juicy, but
it is for sure.
Mark Andrews or Hunter? It's Mark Andrews.
Always.
Always. And Breece Hall or Jerome Ford, Achane or Mostert. It's Mostert for me.
Mostert for me.
If I'm only starting one of those running backs, it's Mostert. If I'm starting 2, it's both Dolphins.
It'd be Mostert and Ford if it was 2.
For me, that's what I would do too. Ooh, James Cook or Joe Mixon?
Mixon for me.
Mixon. Oh, you know what? Hold on. They play the Titans today. Mixon's not that valuable in the pass game, right? And who they play today? I'll go James Cook.
You're right. I'm still going Mixon.
Me too. It worries me more about the B tier running backs when it comes to Tennessee's run defense, like staying away from the Joshua Kellys and Jerome Fords and that tier of running back. Mixon, I think, is talented enough to break one against anybody,
and even with that talented of run defense, there's probably more goal to go opportunities for the Bengals than there are for the Bills, in my opinion. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think the Bengals will score more points at Buffalo. Let's put it that way.
Buffalo's gonna have to score today. That game's gonna be fun to watch. So I guess
Buffalo will slow Miami down though.
Well,
they're not going to score 40 points, let alone 70 points. So I think we'll see.
I think it's doable.
I think both teams could easily put up 30 plus today.
I don't.
Hubbard, Cook, or Tank? I have to let go of one when JT returns, as I also have Moss, McKinnon, and I feel those 2 are keepers. Hubbard, Cook, or Tank? I have to let one go. I mean, McKinnon's the one I'm letting go out of all of these. I don't think you're ever going to feel comfortable starting McKinnon. Even if Pacheco's out, CEH is going to take most of that work. McKinnon's going to have big weeks, but I just don't think you're ever going to be like, hey, I'm starting McKinnon this week, because it's obvious that he's going to score fantasy points, right? If Sanders is out, Hubbard's a start. If I'm assuming this is James Cook.
So when it says those 2 are keepers, am I to assume this is a keeper league?
I think he just means keepers on his depth.
Because in redraft, see you later, Tank, because I can pick Tank up whenever the hell I want to get him back. I'm not letting go of McKinnon and his touchdown upside for Tank Dell or Tank Bigsby and his nothing upside right now.
Yeah, so he's just asking who to
drop.
drop.
Is that Bigsby?
I bet it's Bigsby. I bet he's asking which running back to drop.
So maybe it's not Bigsby. Now we have multiple tanks.
No. I think we're right. I think you guys are right.
Yeah.
I think this is which running back should I drop when JT returns? I don't think
It's
this
Bigsby
is
for me. Like I love Tank Bigsby, but see you later in this format.
Yeah, if we're talking Tank Bigsby, then I can get on board with that for sure. I still don't think you're ever starting McKinnon.
Please specify your tanks going forward.
See, that's my thing is I don't think you're ever starting McKinnon, but even Tank Dell, if ETN misses time, like you will start Tank Bigsby.
You will, but I think you're going to get.
I'll drop.
I could say the same thing for Pacheco. If Pacheco gets hurt, McKinnon's going to be a start. Because CEH is not going to take that by himself. He never has.
I mean,
but I understand what you're saying.
He's already getting way more work than McKinnon this year. CEH is. With Pacheco.
McKinnon's just being used as a third down back. He's not really being utilized.
He's not even being used heavily as a third down back. I mean, he only had like 3 touches last.
They're just kind of rotating their guys, like.
But he doesn't have to be. That's the thing. Like, if he gets 3 touches, 2 of them are touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think that is how it's going to work throughout the rest of the season.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying Donald Parham's my tight end 1 either. So, yeah, you're right.
I played Waddle and Ayuk. Got McCaffrey and Cook in my running back spot. Have Mixon on the bench. Smith worries me if they go up quick. Can see Philly just running the ball.
So this is back to that question of Devonta and all those other receivers, Waddle, Cook, and I can't remember the other guys, but that's why.
This is the biggest thing that fantasy managers need to learn. If your team goes up quick enough that they just start running the ball, that probably means Smith had a good day.
Correct.
Like if
they had to get there somehow.
Right. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's, maybe Goddard gets 2 touchdowns and
if you go up quick and you're running the ball the whole second half, you're probably up 4 scores.
Yeah, so they can score those. And I think that's one of the biggest things people worry about that is just a non-existent issue, an overthinking of sorts. To get up that big in the NFL, you got to put up a bunch of points. We just saw it last week. The Dolphins, they didn't until like halfway through the fourth quarter, their starters were in there. And then Mike White to Chosen Anderson for a 60-yard bomb, which is just awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I think those other guys, I think you both went against Devonta there, right? You guys picked somebody else anyway, so.
Yeah,
I think I picked I can't remember who it was.
You picked Devonta Smith. I picked Ayuk.
I did, and it was between Devonta and Ayuk for me. Yes, I picked Smith.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against Ayuk there much. So if you don't want to start Smith, then I understand it. Go Ayuk. It's a good play.
I'm not going to argue against any of the guys that he had on that list. They were all extremely viable.
Olave or Puka today, as I already have Allen and Jefferson starting. Olave for me.
I'm going to go with Puka.
Gioa Wright says, thanks, fellas. Rob Kane says, what's up, guys? What's up, Rob? Gioa Wright says, I have all those slotted in. Unfortunately, both Eckler and Barkley are out. Otherwise, I wouldn't have an issue. Yeah, that's tough. I'm missing Eckler in a league that I really need him to come back in because I'm not very deep at running back. Nico or Hopkins? PPR. I took Hopkins against Nico earlier. I'm going to stick with that.
I think I did too.
I got Nico here. Volume.
Rob has a fantasy football flashback question. How good was Tim Tebow for fantasy?
He wasn't.
I mean,
he's okay. He had some.
The year in Denver, he scored some fantasy points because he had a lot of rushing touchdowns, right? He scored a decent amount for quarterback, but I mean, he wasn't Lamar Jackson, but he wasn't booty sauce, I don't think, for fantasy.
Give me one.
Just because of the rushing.
Yeah, give me a second here. Keep going.
I didn't have him in any leagues, though, because I figured what happened would happen when he came into the league. People wanting to move him to tight end.
So 2011 was
Jonathan-
his best season.
What did he average per game?
I'll tell you that in a second.
Jonathan says, my
I
apologies.
just looked at his stats first to figure out what year it was.
Jonathan says, my apologies for the confusion. It was Tank Bigsby that he was talking about. So yeah, I can get on board with dropping. I'm still dropping McKinnon because I don't think I'm ever comfortable enough to start him. But
I think you're fine because you get either one of them back, right?
okay, so Tober says,
Come on,
might be a crazy
that
question.
hamster's running. Go ahead.
All right. So Tober says, might be a crazy question, but who you starting? Tank Dell, Devonta Smith, or Jacoby Myers? Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. Between the other two, it'd be challenging for me, but
DG Wavy says, defense, Colts or Seahawks?
Seahawks
Seattle
against
play?
the Giants. Giants.
Colts.
I'll go
Yeah,
Seattle.
I'm going to take Colts. We know Stafford will throw some picks. He's not shy about doing that. Colts are getting some more pressure this year. Their defense looks way improved over last year, so I'll go there too. Kyle Singer says, Gabe Davis, Michael Thomas, pick one, full PPR. Bryce, who you going here? Is that another pick for Ritter? A pick
No,
six?
I think they're.
Oh,
No.
God.
I don't think so. No, I think they're just like looking at replays. Yeah, that was the replay from earlier.
Gotcha. I just looked over and saw it and was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm going Michael Thomas here.
Same.
Did you already say Bryce?
Yeah, Michael Thomas. Yeah.
Okay. I figured you did. That hamster still working on those Tebow stats?
So Fantasy Pros, as soon as Tebow became a tight end, it looks like they ditched his quarterback stats. So I have to find it a different way. So keep going. I'll be fine.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I was just asking before we moved on. I know you'll be fine.
Yeah. You're totally good, man.
Zach says
Should be.
Ayuk, Javonte, or Danny Dimes in Superflex. Full PPR, pick one. So it's a Superflex spot. Are you starting Danny Dimes or are you playing Ayuk or Javonte over him?
I'm starting Jones. I can't sit a quarterback. And how the hell do you not get Ayuk or Javonte into your lineup with them? I need to see that roster.
I'll start Ayuk here.
I think I'm going to start Ayuk as well.
I can't do it. I don't blame you guys, but I can't do it.
Kenny Pickett or Matt Stafford at quarterback? Who you starting in fantasy?
Stafford.
Stafford by leaps and
for me
bounds.
as well. Has ETN had any runs over 15 yards? I feel like he ripped off a few by this point last year. So what, does he not have any runs over 15 yards this year?
I don't know. I've steered clear of him this entire offseason in every format, so I haven't paid much attention to him, to be honest.
I did too, because I thought that Tank would be a lot more relevant than he is, but turns out I fell into that one luckily. I think ETN will be fine. I'm not worried about him.
I do think Bigsby will get more involved as season progresses, but
gotta
Kevin says full
block that.
PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex. Jacobs, Madison, Sanders, Puka, Achane, Roshan. Full PPR, 2 running backs and a flex. I'm going Sanders and Jacobs.
I'm going
Roshan and Jacobs.
I'm going Jacobs, Achane, and Puka.
I'm with Bryce.
My flex for sure.
Bijan Robinson is just everything he does is looks so good. Like a 4-yard run turns into a 12.
You going with Zach Moss or T. Higgins?
Give me Zach Moss. This should be a T. Higgins bounce back week. Great matchup, but Zach Moss is he's getting 20 touches a game. So
I'm going Moss as well. I mean, he scored 20 and 22 points in his 2 starts, and maybe it comes back down to earth this week, but the opportunity is just too much to sit, I think.
Who does he
Kyle Pitts. Jeez.
Who do they play? Who do the Colts play? Not that it should matter.
Rams.
Soft defense for against.
Yeah, I'll go with Moss as well. I don't like it, but I'll go with him as well.
Now that Watson is out, Chris Godwin or Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper for me as well.
Yep.
Zach says Tutu, Javonte, Danny Dimes. We already did this one, didn't we? Because I took. Wait, no. That had Ayuk in it.
No, it was different. It was Ayuk and somebody else.
Over Danny Dimes. I'll take Javonte over Danny Dimes.
Still Jones.
I'll take Danny Dimes in this one.
Still in the quarterback.
We need booty sauce shirts now. All right, Rob, I'll get some made up. I need to get our store online anyway, so I'll add some fantasy booty sauce shirts to the repertoire. Don't forget my running back question, please, guys.
Sure. Which one was it?
Holy cow.
Go and click on that. I'll look for his running back question.
Ooh,
Kevin, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it. Kyle, we are looking for your question. He's looking for your running back question, so we will get to that after this. But 10-team full PPR. My running backs are Jacobs, Madison, Sanders, Achane, Spears, and B-Rob with JT on the IR. My wide receivers are Hill, Ridley, Puka, Christian Watson, Dotson. Who would you package for Mixon and A.J. Brown? He needs running backs. I would sell high on the Achane love right now if you can. And then
Jacobs.
I'm fine.
I don't know if you're in a position to trade.
Really?
Well, there's so much. GT has to come back. If GT doesn't come back and you trade Achane, you're in trouble. Jacobs is struggling. Madison you hate. Sanders is okay. Spears you can't trust. And B-Rob's okay. Maybe you can. So why don't you just play the upside and trade Achane and Puka for Mixon and A.J. Brown?
I think you're gonna have to do more. I think if you could do like Madison, Achane, and like Dotson, who I think is on the verge of being a guy that you don't have to roster in redraft.
To get this package, you're gonna have to give away Jacobs and Achane, and probably I would try and do Puka for Mixon and A.J. Brown. That gives you still Mixon and B-Rob, and then as your running backs, and hopefully you're banking on JT to come back, and then you're rocking with JT and Mixon with A.J. Brown, Hill, and Ridley. So
JT's gonna have to come back at some point.
So I would be more than happy of getting rid of Jacobs and Achane, because you can probably get some still name value from Jacobs. You can get the recent huge play that Achane just gave somebody, the recent success of Puka, and give them in that package to try and get Mixon and Brown. That's where I would start and see. That's what I would look to do.
Guys, Pitts just had another catch.
I am not seeing Kyle. I only saw him ask one question, and that was Gabe Davis and Mike Thomas. And I scrolled almost all the way back up to the beginning. So he maybe typed it in and didn't submit it.
So
Kyle,
for
ahead.
Kevin, what are we saying? We're saying to try to put together a bigger package, right, with Jacobs and stuff.
He wants Mixon and AJ Brown, and he said this guy needs running back, so he's got to give up 2 running backs in this deal for sure to try and get this package.
And you're what, doing Jacobs and Achane?
I said Jacobs, Achane, and Puka, and try and get these for Mixon and AJ Brown. That's what I would try for, because I imagine Puka's production goes down when Cooper Kupp comes back.
So he's willing to let, and he's got some comments later on. He's willing to let Jacobs and Madison go and Puka, and it's a 2 flex league, so he has the flexibility, a little bit more flexibility than normal to go wide receiver or running back. So I think your proposed deal is a good one. And thanks for that, Kevin.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
To be completely honest, I'm fine with Jacobs plus any of those running backs in Puka. So whether it's Madison, Sanders, Achane, Spears.
Yeah.
B-Rob's the only one that I wouldn't pair with him, because I think B-Rob's if you trade Jacobs, B-Rob is the one I'm most comfortable with rest of season, right? Since he's getting all the work, plus he's getting receptions that we didn't expect. And then I would start with Dotson first and try, and then move up to Puka, because I would be fine with any of those 2 running backs that we talked about, plus Puka, Christian Watson, or Dotson in that. So I would start with the worst one, the one that you care to keep the least, and then move up to Puka. Don't start with your best offer.
Another super chat.
With Watson out, do I stick with Amari or play Ayuk or Nico? See, here I can get on Ayuk. I'm not moving Nico above, but I think Ayuk's borderline top 12 option when he's playing. So I'll play Ayuk here over Amari, but Amari over Nico.
I'm on board. Ayuk, Amari, Nico.
Amari, Nico would be how I rank it. Yep.
You've got those 2 both ahead of Ayuk?
No, I have Ayuk right now ahead of Amari. I have Ayuk ahead of Amari regardless, but I would go Ayuk, Amari.
Okay. I thought you were saying I have Amari, Nico, then Ayuk, and I didn't think that's what you had.
I understand.
From our previous conversations. Yep. So we're all on board there, right?
Yes, we are. Nice when we help out a super chat.
DG says Addison or Palmer flex option. I'm going Addison for a team that has to throw 1,000 times a game.
I will go Palmer here.
I'm going to go Palmer as well. I think they both throw 1,000 times a game, and KJ Osborne is still involved enough to give me a little bit of hesitation on Addison. So Palmer for me.
Mm-hmm.
They might not have to throw as much today as normal either. Thank you, Zach. Rashad Penny's inactive.
Evans, Lockett, or Garrett at wide receiver 2. I'm going Lockett.
Same.
Lockett.
Tim Tebow's stats have been stricken from the internet. I don't know why. He's a ghost.
Because now they're outfield stats.
Right. I got to go to MLB.com.
I have Garrett Wilson, and I'm trying to get trade value for him for another solid upcoming wide receiver y'all trust in. I have Addison and Rashee Rice aside Keenan Allen. Any guys y'all think I can make a trade for? Now, if this is for Dynasty and you're looking for, a young wide receiver, then I'm just keeping Wilson. If we're talking redraft, I think you're going to be in that Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, like that type of range for Garrett Wilson at the moment, don't you think?
I think so. And if that's the range I'm in, I'm holding Garrett Wilson, hoping the Jets upgrade their quarterback. Just ride Keenan Allen as much as you possibly can. And I'd start Allen and Wilson each week and just hope that something happens there. Scoring format.
I don't know if I would have worded it quite like that, but yeah, I'm rolling with Keenan Allen until.
I think format matters here too, right? I just assume everything's PPR, but maybe it isn't. And if it isn't, that makes this a whole lot more confusing for me. because Allen and Wilson have that PPR value for me. Allen especially.
I wish you got points for targets, because then Garrett Wilson would be fine. But the fact that 20% of his targets are even catchable makes it rough for me. And when we look at the options to replace Zach Wilson, they aren't awe-inspiring either. Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz.
No, I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a trade for somebody, if anything at all. It's not going to be Phillip Rivers. He's too far removed.
But who is that then? Who's?
Well, I think it's. Yep. I think it's Andy Dalton. I think it's Taylor Heineke. I think it's Andy Dalton. I think it's taking a look at teams' backup quarterbacks who can play. I think it's Mike White, try to bring him back. Although that's not going to happen in division. I just think it's quarterbacks like that they. It's not going to be Kirk Cousins. I don't think that's happening, because Minnesota, even at 0-3, hasn't lost a division game yet, so they're not going to mail it in quite yet. There's not a ton of options there, but there's some.
I mean, Atlanta's not trading Heineke, so you mark him off the board, because he might be their starter in the next few series.
Like Winston. Why don't you go get Winston out of New Orleans?
I just don't think teams are going to trade these backup guys with the quarterback situation. Like, we thought Jameis was – we still don't even know if Jameis is playing today, because we keep getting conflicting reports. But
Carr is starting, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jameis does play as well.
But, yeah, I don't think the options are very good out there either. So it's hard for me to hang my hat on Garrett Wilson in 2023. It's tough. I love him. He's literally, I said before the season that I thought he was going to be in conversation with Chase and Jefferson, as that third guy. And it's not going to happen now because, well.
Yeah. Jonathan Mingo is inactive today. So if anybody was hoping for him on the Panthers, he's not going to go. That might give Thielen a little bit more of a boost, and Shark as well.
Need 2 for the flex. PPR, Madison, Rashad White, DJ Moore, and Flowers.
It's Moore and Flowers for me.
More and Flowers for me. And we got a super chat.
Moore and Rashad White for me.
Really? Eh? Is it the Browns scaring you away from Zay?
So, if I don't have to play Flowers today, I'm not. That defense is pretty gross.
Zay could outscore White in catches alone, points alone, in my opinion.
White catches decent amount of passes out of the backfield too, so
that's fair.
With Watson out, do I stick with Amari? Wait, is that the one we already did?
Nope, the one below. Yeah, there you go.
Daniel says 1 running back, 1 flex, Moss, Madison, Ford, Lockett, PPR. I know Watson is out, and I know Carolina is 30th versus running backs in fantasy. That's why I turned to y'all.
Appreciate that. A running back, a flex. Moss,
Lockett's
Madison, Ford, Lockett.
Lockett's my flex.
And I think Moss has to be a running back.
Moss is my running back.
As weird as that feels, I think that's the right answer.
Yep, I agree.
Daniel, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming by all the time.
Yeah, man.
Now I need to.
I really want to get Madison. I really want to get Madison in a lineup somewhere, but not with those options.
Is this the one we did last? Madison White? Yeah.
Yeah, the Bible salesman. Yeah.
Caleb says Achane or Lockett.
Lockett.
Lockett for me as well. Kevin says I willing to go Jacobs and Madison and Puka.
That's a trade, super chat trade question. I think that might get it done, man. Give it a shot. Let us know.
Need a tight end, Njoku or Ertz, or any of the streaming options. Logan Thomas, Everett, Kincaid, Chig, Schultz, Atten, Knox, Hurst. I mean, Everett, then Logan Thomas for me out of all these, and then Ertz.
So Njoku had some weird accident in his house this week, eh? He burnt his hands and his face. And he's pretty questionable right now. And he hasn't been that –
He's in.
He is, hey? Okay.
Yep.
He hasn't been that great this season regardless, and then now he's got a different quarterback. So if I'm picking between Njoku and Ertz, I'm going to go with Ertz just on the boatload of targets that he gets. But I'm going to go Everett over all of these guys myself, with Williams out, Eckler out, Palmer being a less than consistent third. Watching the Chargers play the Vikings last week, every time it was 3rd and something, Everett was his target if Keenan Allen was blanketed. So Everett for me out of all those guys.
I'll go with Everett as well. Man,
Don't sound so excited about it.
I don't know. I kind of like Schultz too, but
Why?
Logan Thomas is my easy second.
What do you like in Schultz?
I just
what
like
are you
this.
there?
I just see 50 passes today, and I mean they got to
What
go.
do you get any of
That's
the
been every
target?
game, and he hasn't got none of it.
He is not an option in that offense.
They're in the red zone. At least he's in the lineup. Like Everett comes out and Donald Parham goes in, so Everett's touchdown upside has dropped significantly with Donald Parham being up and healthy. So when I look at tight ends,
Jordan's been more active in the red zone than Schultz has this year.
I mean, yeah, but Schultz is at least in the red zone. Like he's in the game. Everett.
So if that's our deciding factor, Logan Thomas is it.
Logan Thomas is up there. I mean, I have him and Schultz pretty close. But I'm still going Everett. I mean, I think he's more productive between the 20s than all these guys. So,
yeah, in a points per snap league, I might put Schultz in.
I also think Spears and Roschon will be big end of season and bank on them, but I'll need JT. I agree too. I think that Derrick Henry is one of the guys that could be on the move at the trade deadline.
If there's anything left to trade, yep.
Yeah, and they obviously love Spears. Again, Spears has out-snapped Derrick Henry in 2 out of the 3 games so far.
And that's game script, but I don't think I don't see those. I think that's game script dependent, but I don't see that game script changing anytime soon. So,
what? Fair enough.
Kevin Slater says B-Rob has a tough schedule end of season.
Worry about end of season at the end of the season. The way running backs are dropping, you got to get there when you can get there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you.
Jonathan says, from our RB2 spot today, 12-man league, I start Chuba, McKinnon, or Dalvin Cook. See, here we go. Thanks for clarifying the Cook. I'm waiting for JT to come back in all 3 leagues I'm in. I'm starting Chuba out of those 3.
McKinnon for me. If Sanders is going, it's McKinnon for me.
Yep, I will agree.
I'll take Chuba over McKinnon in a $5.
We $5 that one. We haven't had one yet, so let's do that.
Yeah, yep. I mean McKinnon's averaging like 3 touches a week, so I'll take that.
You're used to losing. You're used to losing running back bets to me anyway, so we might as well keep her going.
Well, I don't know. I win and I don't even know if I get paid. So.
Well, that's that.
The tab is open.
Extremely.
The tab is open.
The tab is open from 2019.
We didn't have the Google sheet then.
Oh,
can I just let you know that
it wasn't
Dalton?
I don't know. I don't know what the tab would be.
Dalton Schultz entering today is tight end 48. There's 32 teams in the NFL. He's tight end 48. His best game this year is 3.4 points. So that's in standard. Sorry, hang on 1 second. Anyway, can go to the next question. We're good.
I'll just go with Logan Thomas.
Now I've got one I'm going to bring up.
Okay. I need to reset my router, and I obviously can't. So we're good.
Jerick McKinnon's running back 34.
If anyone wants to take a break, I got 15 more minutes.
We might be done if we get these questions answered anyways at noon.
Okay.
So let's answer them.
Okay. Full PPR. Tank Geller, Lockett, Zach Moss, or Madison.
Lockett, Moss.
And Moss. Lockett and Moss.
Yep. PPR Dalton Schultz is tight end 39. His best week is a 7.4 point week 2. Taysom Hill, Juwan Johnson, Brevin Jordan on his own team, Cole Turner, Colby Parkinson, Noah Gray, Ferron Brown.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're good. Should I start Godwin, Garrett Wilson, or James Conner at flex? Connor for sure. Jonathan says, I've been thinking hold Garrett also, as it's currently fantasy, not a redraft. Full PPR.
Okay, so it's a dynasty. I'm assuming.
Dynasty, I'm keeping him. Dynasty,
And you're
I'm
holding.
definitely
You have
not
to hold
selling
him in time.
Yeah.
No, and not. I think you guys talked about that last night. If you're selling Garrett Wilson, it's got to be for a huge return in dynasty.
Dang. That sucks.
I know what else is out.
This game's boring.
I can't. Got ETN. I'm not sure what that's referring to.
That was the from the super chat.
Right, and he already has ETN obviously in his lineup, so he can't make the moves that we let him know. We were going to go with, what were we doing? We were going Moss and Lockett, right?
Yeah.
Well, if he still needs a running back on a flex, I don't understand why he can't. But anyway.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know. Half PPR for Mike. Start 1 at flex. B-Rob, Tutu, Terry, Javonte, Herbert, Jordan Addison.
I might be Javonte here.
I am. I'm Javonte Williams.
0.5.
Yeah, I think I am.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I can get on board with Javonte. B-Rob's there as well in the conversation for me.
Yeah, way more involved and way more productive than I would have thought for that team.
Wildcard Loft says, am I crazy to start Palmer versus Raiders over Godwin versus Saints? I think so. I'm starting Godwin. I think he's better. And with Lattimore on Evans.
I would be starting Godwin as well. I don't think it's outrageous to start Palmer, but I wouldn't in this scenario.
Saquon is out. Start Breda versus Seahawks or Godwin versus Saints. I'm going Godwin again.
But Matt Breida is not the answer. And I know he scored in last week's game, but if he didn't, he was horrific. So it's Godwin.
Appreciate the clarification on who wins majority running back bets, so I know who's the better choice. I don't even know that that's a true statement. So
I can tell you that our bets over
running backs.
I can tell you my bets are usually not the right ones. I'm just being a jerk because I got one right about Alexander Madison last week.
Yeah, he did.
Lockett or Amari Cooper? I went Lockett on this one the last time, but Amari Cooper right there. Also, do you think Miles Sanders is a start or sit over Cortland Sutton? I'll take Cortland Sutton healthy against the Bears.
Cortland Sutton.
If I knew Miles Sanders was a full go, I would go Miles Sanders, but I think that groin could tweak at any time, and I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton. He seems to be Russell Wilson's target of choice regardless right now, and the matchup is too good.
Malachi says, start 3, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Gabe Davis. A.J. Brown's obviously in there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going DJ Moore and then DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm going the first 3. Brown, Hopkins, Moore for me.
Brown, Hopkins is easy for me, and Dell and Moore is where I'm struggling right now, but I think I'm going to go – I have to go with DJ Moore. Like, Denver's defense is bad.
They only let up 70. They only let up 70, so.
Yeah, it's true.
This way says, please help, guys. Start 1, Ramondre versus Dallas, Brian Robinson versus Philly, or Achane versus Buffalo. It's Ramondre for me.
Ramondre.
Same.
Dirtfish Gameplay says, Gabe Davis or Amari Cooper. This is Amari Cooper for me.
Same.
Cooper. Whoa.
Also. What?
I said, whoa. This one. This question.
This is CD Lamb.
Yeah, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't even care who he plays.
Good options, though.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan needs to know, Miles Sanders or Tank Dell at the flex. Listen, if I have an option that protects me from Miles Sanders this week, then I'm going to take it. With him not practicing, groin injury, who knows what his workload's like, even if he does play the whole game. I'm going Tank Dell here with his probably 10 targets.
Agree. I'm going to bounce. I'll be right back.
This is Tank Dell for me as well.
Wildcard Loft says, thanks, guys. Mako says Tank Dell or Garrett Wilson as his wide receiver too.
Well, I asked you this question right at the beginning of the stream or right before, and I had the same one, and you told me Tank Dell, and I was on the verge of doing it anyway. So we both went Tank Dell here.
Yeah, it's tough.
Weird.
I cannot trust Zach Wilson with my Garrett Wilson shares because even if he targets him 8 or 10 times, 2 of them might be catchable.
Yeah, I've been targeting Garrett Wilson a lot in dynasty leagues where I'm not a contender. So,
I definitely don't hate that. Start Nico Collins or Josh Palmer. I'm starting Nico. I know everybody's on this Josh Palmer thing, but
yeah, I like Josh Palmer a lot for DFS this week, obviously, but Nico Collins for me here as well.
Maybe in cash games in DFS, but I feel like he's gonna be too popular and everything else. See, you even made her cry. Like, Dad, why do you hate money and want to make bad plays in DFS?
Hey, he's a nice cheap. He's the minimum option at wide receiver, I think, right? I mean, 4,000 into the lowest, or it's close to it.
The 3,000 for wide receivers.
Oh, okay, he's 4, so it's pretty cheap. It gave me the option to get 3 other stud wide receivers. That's why I chose it.
This way says, appreciate it, guys. Definitely needed other options on those. Hey, that's what we're here for. And just so everybody knows, Tuesday night, 9:30, we go live. We talk about waivers, trades, everything else. So you can come in and ask your questions during that stream, 9:30 Eastern. And we're working. Bryce and I are trying to figure out, might be doing a pregame show on either Monday or Thursday as well. So we're looking into that. That's not in stone yet, but always here to answer questions. Loving these Q&As this year. But we're here for you. If you would, hit that like button. Bam. Zach Moss or Brian Robinson?
Moss.
Give me Moss.
Is Jonnu 81 for Atlanta?
Yes.
He just had another massive game.
Can you get Bijan in the end zone for me for the Grand Prix? Come on.
He's having a lovely game today.
Over 100 yards again, I saw.
They're a whole offense.
Mega Brick says full PPR start 3. Waddle, Dotson, Palmer, Higgins, Tutu, Godwin. Waddle, Higgins, Godwin for me.
Waddle, Higgins, Tutu for me.
Waddle, Higgins, Godwin. Yeah.
Start Dak or Fields?
Fields. Dak is an avoider. Avoid Dak this week, I'm telling you. Christian Gonzalez.
Sauce Gonzalez.
Fields for me as well. And then it's Higbee at tight end.
Agree. Was questionable earlier in the week, but I think he's okay.
Big contract extension got him healthy.
Yeah, that'll make you feel better.
We are we're caught up with questions. It's about noon. I don't mind taking a little nap before the game starts. We appreciate everybody hanging out. Everybody's tuning into the football game as well. So we will see you Tuesday night. Look for our waiver video tomorrow. Thank you all. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Sully.
Always.
Later.
See ya.